If I kill that bird. Barbara, that's a bald eagle. Get away, Baldy! Yeah!
Well, good evening, and good evening. This is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GubsRadio.com. We are Steveless today, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Peter, how are you, sir?
I'm great. Good to be back.
I'm good. Everything's great and dandy in the world of Peter?
Oh, no, never.
No?
But I'm here, and it's good.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, I'm here.
We have some very special guests in the house tonight. We are broadcasting live from Governor's Comedy Club, the biggest and the baddest comedy club in all of Long Island. Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. We're live on Facebook and live on the YouTube on the Governor's Comedy Club podcast station, channel, whatever you want to call it. And, wow, it's been a couple months since we've done a show, so I'm a little rusty on the old ones and twos on this little mixing board here. But we're going to get it going, all right? So, Pete, why don't you kick it off?
Are there ones and twos, though?
Oh, this is Mike
Those
1 and Mike
and
2.
twos.
Yeah,
Got
there
it.
you go. All right, I got it.
Got it.
I wasn't being, like, literal, but, you know, now that you called me out on it, yes, and then I'm going to call you out. Kick it off, Rosie's Draft Solutions, buddy.
Rosie's Draft Solutions, Long Island family-owned business that provides professional draft beer services, line cleanings, maintenance, draft beer line system installs,
and more,
event dispensing, and more. Passionate about craft beer and making sure it has the same qualities when left the brewery. That is done by making sure the draft system and the beer is poured from is perfectly clean, super clean pipes. The only way to do it.
Clean and tight.
Rosie's services bars, restaurants, halls, events, other beverage establishment, home kegerator installs.
Ooh. That's nice.
With backgrounds in professional brewing, certified Cicerone, and off-flavor detection. They are here to bring you professional services so you can serve the best quality product while attaining the best yields. You don't want fucking low yields.
I don't want
high
low
yields
anything.
Only.
I need high tea. I need high yields. I need all that shit.
These are your own problems, Mike.
Well, I'm airing it out now. You know, it's 7 seasons, and I got to air it all out.
Low yields.
Yes.
You can reach out to Rosie's Draft Solutions.
Okay. All right. That'll do. At
rosiesdraftsolutions@gmail.com or call them at 631-219-2075. But I recommend you consult a doctor about the low T.
Yes.
Not Rosie's Draft Solutions.
Go to rosiesdraftsolutions.com and tell Nick the Wort sent you, receive 10% off your service or order. Tonight we're also sponsored by Brewbag for your beer pong cornhole. You play much beer pong cornhole lately at the Brewbag?
No.
The last time I had it out, because we're in New York, folks, and this is the winter months, I don't get out much to play some beer pong cornhole.
I started looking at the weather.
We played it at...
it's no longer below freezing.
We played it at the Blue Point Cast Fest.
Yes.
That was a good time.
Yes.
And I enjoyed having it out, and I can't wait till the weather gets a little warmer, and then we get to go throw some bags around.
About fucking time.
About time.
No matter what that stupid rodent says.
Go to brewbag.com or head over to our Instagram, and in our Instagram is a link tree, a link directly to a discounted page for your brew bag. Get it custom wrapped with your vinyl logo. It looks beautiful. You can have a beer in hand and playing a little cornhole beer pong. Go to brewbag.com. We're also sponsored by Beer Maker, BERMKR. You want to talk a little about Beer Maker? You love Beer Maker.
I do. Which one?
You memorized this
Which
read.
one of us even has the Brew Maker?
I do.
You do. Okay.
I do. I have a double IPA still got to make. I know.
You're at home.
And I got to tell you, Sheila still wants the Beer Maker.
Give it to her.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to give her the Beer Maker. That thing is still fantastic. Go ahead, tell me about it.
When was the last time you used it? Your at-home all-grain countertop brewing system.
Oh, see, I like how you
powered by an app.
Yes.
We
used it. Steve made his Nerd Girl.
Ah.
And then I made an IPA after that, and that was
how many years ago?
No, it was a year ago. It wasn't that long ago, but we made it. But it's been sitting in my basement, and again, being so busy with everything, it's tough. But I do have a double IPA kit left.
If you are not about to go through a home renovation and moving all of your possessions into your parents' house again, it does not take up a lot of space. Very easy.
It fits nicely on my bar in my basement.
Yeah, no, it's great. Nice little product. Fits in a home office, a bar.
Yep.
If you live alone, it would sure fit on your countertop. If you don't have children, need all the space you can get.
Yeah.
Very easy to brew. All sorts of recipes, IPAs, stouts, porters, Mexican lagers.
You name it. They got a kit for it.
You can make your own.
Bingo.
They have a little recipe helper. You can brew your own recipe.
That's fun. So go to Beer Maker. BERMKR, and type in the promo code The Wort and receive 10% off your Beer Maker today. Finally, we are sponsored by Brewers Hardware. Brewers Hardware for your large batch or small capacity needs. Go to Brewers Hardware for all the tri-clamps that you can possibly fathom. But they have great stuff for the home brewer. They have great stuff for just if you need a kegerator, you need some sort of piece on
Everyone
your kegerator.
Needs a fucking kegerator.
I have one, and I can't wait not to disassemble it because the only thing in the basement I didn't disassemble is my kegerator.
It's where your priorities are at.
But I got Brewers Hardware on my side if I need them. So go to brewershardware.com or go over to our LinkedIn. Our link tree. Which has a link directly to Brewers Hardware, and type in promo code The Wort and receive 10% off your order today. And thank you, everyone, for sponsoring us here in 2024 as we kick off season number 7, Pete.
Speaking of 2024, I hear Tri-Clamp is running for president.
It better be.
Tri-Clamp for press.
I don't know what else to vote for at this point. I would vote for
right
a
now. I might vote for a fucking Tri-Clamp
at this point.
People unqualified.
The things those Tri-Clamps do sometimes can save the world. At least progress my alcoholism. But that right now, we'll just say that. So go to Brewers Hardware. Get your Tri-Clamps today. We have in the studio our guests today. We have Will and we have John from Cow Harbor in Northport. What's up, guys?
How you doing?
You don't even know when the camera's on you because I switch them all back and forth. We get all sorts of cameras here. Yeah.
I try and forget there's a camera at all.
I have one good angle.
We're just hanging. It's one good angle. That's what we get. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're thrilled to be here. This is a lot of fun.
We had a little discussion before the show started, and we were talking a little bit about how this whole mess of a studio got started. I really want to hear about you guys because we were going back and forth on social media, been watching kind of the progress you guys have been making, and since we first talked, you guys have taken some big steps. So let's go back a little bit and tell us a little about your story. Where'd you guys start? How'd you guys set off on this adventure? And I know there's 2 of you today representing, but there's a lot more of you. So talk a little bit about that, everyone.
Yeah. So me, John, and 3 brothers actually comprise Cow Harbor Brewing Company.
Oh, so they definitely colluded in not coming today.
100%.
They're like, dude, you going, John? No, we're not going. All right.
Yeah, and I'm not sure their wives let them out too much. So.
Aw, poor little fellers.
Yeah, they'll be okay. So probably back in like 2010, 2011, the brothers started doing the homebrew.
As one does.
Yeah. They got me into it when I was living in Boston, came down, was drinking their beer, really loving it. Just curious how the whole process worked. It looked like a lot of fun. So I went back to Boston, got myself a little kit, and, here I am today, 14 years later or whatever. Yeah, so I've been brewing myself personally for about 12 years.
Wow.
Before we started this whole thing, I never brewed the same beer twice. I just like the process of finding new things, finding new flavors, mixing them together. Doing the same thing multiple times in a row is boring, but I know that's what we're doing now.
And it's the basis of the business. Yes.
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What was that first recipe then?
It was a Dogfish 60-minute IPA clone.
Yes, sir.
Gotta start with the classics.
No comments, Peter? I just drank a 12-pack in 2 days of 60 minutes.
Fucking course you.
Yeah, of course it's water to me now.
I know.
It's like a side dish to everything I do. My alcoholism hasn't gotten any worse since the last we spoke. I'm just letting you know. It's the same.
I've cut my consumption considerably.
Have you?
Yeah.
And so is Steve. He took off 2 months now. This is the first time he's drank since New Year's Eve.
Oh, no, I
would be on this cruise, which is kind of crazy. We didn't say what cruise he was on.
Yeah, what kind of cruise is it, guys?
He is on. Steve has since joined some odd Reddit groups and is now he's on a cruise to prove that the world is indeed flat. So it's on a cruise to the end of the world.
So they are selling tickets to the edge of the earth.
Depending on how much of a cult this is, it could be the end of the world for Steve. We don't know. Hopefully he comes back.
I heard they have a lot of good bands on this cruise.
Talk some sense into him. And yeah.
We'll get him back. Some
I heard
people
Trapped is playing, actually.
Yeah, Trapped.
So
and Mudvayne.
Well, Mudvayne I actually like.
Okay, all right, sorry. My bad.
I wasn't the one here.
I know.
God damn it.
Oh, my bad. I apologize. But yeah, I mean that's one of the things Steve likes to do is take cruises to different locations of the world. So
possibly the end of the world.
And that could be the reason why he's not here. So. Who knows? You guys can all speculate online and find out where Steve is, like a Where's Waldo. But he does regret not being here for Cow Harbor for sure. He wanted to check out some of the new. Yeah, we'll get him. We'll get him tagged up. Let me ask you a question. Well, when you started brewing, what was the first kind of like kit or machine, or what did you use to start off?
Stovetop.
Really, just straight up like
1 gallon pot.
No kit, no like Brooklyn Brew or Mr. Beer or anything like that.
No, because I had I saw how it was done, a few times coming down to Northport.
So just straight all grain on the stovetop kind of deal.
Yeah, I didn't mess with the other. Method.
The syrups.
Extracts.
Yeah. I don't like to talk about
No promotion there.
Yeah.
Forget those guys.
You gotta go full grain. Full
grain. Yeah, full grain.
From the get-go, man.
Yeah.
Only way to do it.
I don't blame it. I would have, if I knew any better going into it, like you had some experience going into it, I probably would have done that too. But no, I started with that stupid extract shit that just stunk up the house and it didn't even smell like, Yep. And then this Brooklyn Brew Kit, which was not all grain. It still had something else in there. And then there was another one I tried. I forget where I got it from. It was online, but it was an extract that came in a canister and stuff like that. I don't know why I say canister, but it was a canister. I'm not from upstate, I promise. And yeah, it was one of those things. Like it never really caught me as a brewer. I wouldn't ever consider myself a brewer. Even with my good old beer maker, I wouldn't consider myself a brewer.
I don't think anybody would.
The coolest part of beer maker for brewers is the experimentation, because you were talking about never do anything twice. This is something where you can do like pilot 1 gallon batches in an automated system where you're not sitting in front of the stove all day trying to get that brew out. So it would be an interesting concept for brewers. I think that's what they initially probably thought of it, and then realized the regular consumer can probably follow a booklet of directions to do it. But to take it to that next level and what it really can do, I think a brewer would get their hands on that and really have fun. Like Steve really did a good job on Nerd Girl. That was pretty good. So you guys, obviously started off. John, what about you? Where'd you come from?
So
you're not a brother and you're not Will, so
I'm the outsider. So
yeah,
I'm from upstate originally.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean canister.
Whoops. not too much offense taken.
Yeah, no, you don't have that accent. Like I knew somebody who everything is yes, and I'm like, where did she? Minnesota.
I was going to say sure they weren't from.
It should have been Minnesota, but she's not. She's from upstate New York. I'm like, where did that seep into your vocabulary? Like I don't know, whatever. Sorry, go ahead.
So I moved down to Long Island in about 2011. So about the same time that the brothers were starting to brew together, and moved in with one of the brothers. We were renting a house in Huntington, and just started hanging out and seeing what they were doing. And that's kind of how it all started. And then for all of us, it went on a big pause.
Families, life,
just life sort of happened. And then just what was it? 21?
21. I was living out in Denver, Colorado, and
good place for beer.
Oh my God,
Jesus Christ!
It's the beer mecca in the United States, as far as I'm concerned. Then maybe San Diego.
Yeah. And then maybe here, but it's debatable.
It's pretty sweet here.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So yeah, I moved back 2021. Called up my buddy Bobby, who I actually have known my whole life. We went to nursery school together.
Oh, wow.
I didn't like him then, and I still don't like him. But so I called him up. I said, can we get this brew thing going again? I don't want to travel again with all my equipment. So let's just use yours that's in the garage or wherever you have it stored. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So moved back. We started brewing in his garage in Northport, and then he's like, hey, he talked to his brothers, like, hey, you guys, you want to join? Let's hang out. and asked John, our buddy here. John came over like, hell yeah, let's go. We just started brewing basically every week. We moved into John's basement. His wife was real thrilled about that.
She actually enjoyed it. She liked having everybody over. She would bring us
nice.
cookies and milk.
She's a
and
good
stuff.
host.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Not if you're listening.
She was a
we
trooper.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank
She
you
can
very
always
much.
call 516-465-3990. The initial beer, what was that first beer that you guys brewed? Do you remember on that system in the garage?
You remember?
What was that?
It might have been the pumpkin ale.
Ooh.
I think it was actually.
Yeah.
Because that was like, second week in September, and I think we were trying to get ready for Halloween. I think you're right, Will.
Yeah, we have this pumpkin beer called Rusted Pumpkin. We use a shit ton of puree, and some spices too.
Of course,
you
as
gotta
one
have
does.
that delicious flavors in there.
Some
Cinnamon,
clove, maybe.
nutmeg. Oh yeah.
Allspice.
Allspice. You throw it in there. Yeah, it's delicious. Yeah, I think that was the first one, and it came out amazing, and we're like, oh, we're pretty good at this. Let's keep going. And then slowly we just started buying more equipment. Thanksgiving sales on what's that website?
Black Friday deals on
Black Friday deals. Yeah, exactly.
Northern Brewer.
Yeah.
You name it. Stout tanks. Everything. We just had. We didn't like. Oh, let's spend more money. So we're doing this every week, making more and more beer each time, and I don't know. I think.
Where do you
John-
keep it? If you're brewing every week and you don't own a facility yet, where does one put?
So
Or is
beer.
it easy to split up
In our-
between five guys?
Right. That's what it was originally. We were just basically drinking it all ourselves. So we started out on a 5-gallon system,
Okay.
and we quickly
Everyone, yeah.
It's a
outgrew
gallon a
that.
guy. Come on,
That's
it's
not
easy.
bad. No, yeah, that's a weekend.
Yeah, that
That's
didn't
a
last long.
weekend.
Not bad.
That's a
Fortnite.
Friday night, starting at 5 p.m.
Jesus, Mike, we had to talk.
Okay, I'm just saying.
So we
I
quickly
can handle it.
we quickly outgrew that. Then went to a 15-gallon system. So then we actually started putting everything in soda kegs,
Okay.
and we were able to store it that way and serve
Hate
it at
soda
parties. And
Yeah.
it was we were starting out.
Yeah. I hate them.
Yeah.
So Dan Moss, who used to own Fire Island Brewing, went directly into another position for a company that was doing these biodegradable soda kegs. So they were made of a
One-way keg, right?
yeah, it was a one way, but it adapted to almost anything. You could buy an adapter, and it can get into a regular. It was something crazy where we thought that was it, like it was going to take off, and no, it did not, because no one wants a soda keg. They want that real freaking slim, sitting in their beer fridge. So he had another couple. I think he ended up at 12% Beer Project at one point, and then came back and was doing some other things. I think he's out of the business now, but for the most part, he was a big advocate for some of those, different or emerging styles of containers. Because I hated soda kegs. I tell you, I ever went to Black Forest Brewery when
Yeah.
it was open,
First day with my wife.
and I showed up up with a slim, and he looked at me and he goes, "I can't fill this." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I called, I asked if you could fill, a slim keg, and and he shows me the room. It's just all the soda kegs, and I go, "I don't have one of those." And he goes, "Sorry, you can take a couple of growlers," which I did. But I'm just saying, it's still in use. It's still out there. People are still using it. Black Forest is one of them. I'm sure there's others that kind of go to that.
They're out of business too.
Yeah, well, is that maybe what I was saying? You're not using soda kegs, are you guys? You don't want to cut yourself short before it
No, I
ends.
think I threw them out.
Okay. I mean, that's just a part of the flight, part of the journey, I guess, is just kind of
100%.
realizing what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
You guys, now with 15-gallon batches, are you doing it into kegs? You got regular kegs?
It was like step 2.
That was
Oh.
step 2.
Oh.
We're on a few steps later.
Oh,
now.
shit.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. We've upgraded. We keep
we
buying shinier and shinier things.
All the stainless.
Yeah.
My
Yes.
bank account keeps going down,
Yeah,
and down,
yeah.
and down and down. That's all right.
Finally, all the wives are like, you guys better do something with this, proactively, because this is getting
That's
that
where
that
we're at.
may or may not have happened.
can neither confirm nor deny.
So it was about what was it, November 22
Yep.
when we leased the space. And then we're like, okay, now we have the space. Let's buy some equipment to put in it, and we did that. Got the equipment, and then we found out we needed a lot more power into the building. So that set us back a few months. What was it, 400 amps?
Yeah.
Wow.
New 400 amp service brought in.
Yeah. That was
Well, you're almost pot committed at that point to actually
Oh,
start the brewery.
not almost.
How was working with the village on that kind of stuff? Finding a building, leasing.
Well, let me
space?
ask you this, because you didn't have an official opening or anything like that. You weren't really in business. You were just leasing a space to do this stuff for you guys yourself in. Was there any pushback on just upgrading a panel or simple stuff you were doing, or, just for yourselves?
No.
No.
Where we're located, the owner's very, willing to please. So it was very easy. The power was already in the building.
Yeah.
They just needed to bring it from one room
Oh, okay.
basically into our unit. So it wasn't
Okay.
a big push.
I'm sure he was happy that you guys paid for a brand new unit in his lease space. So if you ever do go, he's like, yes, nice little new 400 panel amp service. I'm good to go.
We could always take it with us, I guess.
Yeah, right off the wall.
I'm ripping that copper out of the walls, man. That was expensive stuff.
Probably going to need that at the next space, too.
Yeah. So you guys, is this the space you plan on opening in?
So-
No.
Right. So we're there now. It's just a manufacturing facility.
Oh, okay.
So we do can sales,
Right.
Yep.
but we can't serve. So,
So
that's
everything's
are you
to
looking
go.
at like the farm brew license to open up tasting location, or is that like just down the road still?
The farmer's license, maybe, we haven't had the best success
Getting
sourcing
ingredients,
grain
Yeah.
from New York.
we
It's
did-
getting
we
harder
did
and
try.
harder.
It's
We
high.
did try.
The percentage is up there now.
It's
too,
going
right?
up. Yeah.
What is it at? Is it
50%?
It was. I thought it was 80.
over
Yeah,
that.
no, it was
yeah,
like
it was
80%.
closer to like 75?
Because when we first started this show and people were getting it, it was 50%.
I didn't even think it was
And
that
people,
high then.
no, it was about 50.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it was right around there. And then like every year after, we heard,
like
oh no, it's at
10%,
10% or 5 to 10% each year, and it would jump up, and we're like, how are you doing this at 70%?
Where are you?
How are we doing this? And it just keeps going up and up, just because of the availability, especially for the smaller guys, and the quality. I mean, as good as the grain is, there's
And
still
hops.
some grain. Well, we'll get to that, but there's still some grain you just can't get here.
Sure.
If you want a specific style or you want a specific flavor profile or something like that, it's just not here because of our climate or whatever, soil, I don't know. But whatever that is, it's just not available to you guys yet. So to do that 80%, you're really kind of handcuffing yourself and limited to what kind of grains and hops that you're going to be using.
True, very true. So, yeah, we're not doing that.
No. I just convinced them out of it. Done.
Well, one of our, I don't know if I should say, like, flagship beers is an English mild ale. And, 100% English malts.
Yeah.
So,
We
not
don't grow that
really,
here,
we don't
right?
grow them
No.
here.
Yeah.
If we do, we're lying.
I mean, what they would probably do, the state would say, well, we have this, which could be a like a foundation substitute, and you could use 30%, but still get the flavor, and there's all sorts of stuff, especially with the New York State Brewers Association. They may be able to help you, but again, if you don't want to go that route, then just get the microbrew license. And
Yeah, which we have.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we've been selling kegs mostly to accounts in the area,
Local bars, restaurants.
local
right?
bars, restaurants. Yeah, that's been the main source of our income. But we want that tap room.
Yeah,
We
that's
want,
how you
like-
get. You got to,
That's it. Like for me, that's
and that's profit too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Direct to consumer, pulling your own handles.
yeah,
yeah.
That's the dream.
yeah.
so the manufacturing space, what size is it? What are we looking at right
It's
now?
about 1,500 feet.
Okay. And what about, like capacity? What can you guys do, pull out of there per week or per year? Have you kind of done those calculations?
So a little bit. So we brew once a week right
Okay.
now. We all have full-time jobs. This is kind of like
And that was gonna be some of my other questions, yeah.
It's a 5-barrel system.
Okay, 5-barrel system.
5-barrel. We
Yeah.
got 3 fermenters and 1 bright tank. And basically, when all the cylinders are cranking, we're brewing every session and kegging every session.
Yeah.
That's
That's a full day for sure.
Yeah.
No one ever tells you how much time you'll spend cleaning kegs.
Oh, yes.
We have heard that.
Well, no one ever told us.
Have you heard about the word? and everyone, we used to have people on here that would, basically take kegs into their brewery to wash them for other people because they just didn't want any part of
GSP,
it.
right? Didn't
Yeah, they used to do it. W.A. Works was doing it.
Did he have one?
Yeah, I think he had a
okay.
keg washer, and he would take in 27.
Yeah.
He had Secatog, I think, at one point because he was friendly with Ken. And yeah, they bring the kegs over there. He'd wash them. He'd send them back, and that was part of the cost. But you know what? Maybe it cut down on labor, or maybe it balanced out. Who knows? The time it takes to do them, though. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Now let me ask you a question, because Northport, there's enough breweries there that have set precedent on a lot of the stuff that's going on. What has been the production facilities kind of restrictions? Have you run into anything where you wanted to do something but you can't do it? Wastewater issues, water supply issues, town issues, anything like that?
No, not
All
yet.
right, so open a freaking brewery in Northport, because it seems like slick shoes right in there. I like it.
Yeah, we're not in the village proper, but
Right.
If we were in the village, that would be a different story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's true. But you guys are right outside.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not too far from where.
Been a common theme is issues with
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
facilities at some point.
It's usually the more local you get,
Yeah.
the more jurisdiction there is.
And the
Yeah.
smaller the town too, because
Right.
once the town gets small, then the
Then you have
voices
just
are
another
louder.
layer of
Right.
government and oversight.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys looking to get a tasting room? Are you looking maybe in the village? You're looking outside the village? Like, where are you looking for the tasting room?
Yeah, we would love to have a tasting room in Northport Village and or Huntington.
I mean, Huntington would be great. The
Foot
foot traffic alone.
Yeah.
Huntington's amazing. So many people just out. I was out there Saturday, and I had to park a mile away.
Yeah.
But everyone's happy to
Place
do
is
that
hopping.
there
Yeah.
because there's so much going on.
Well, I'll give you a secret. I found my spot in Huntington Village. No one ever parks
Parking
there. Yeah. Yeah.
All
It's
right. You can tell me after the show.
It's close, but far enough where it's not metered or signed.
okay.
Yeah, and it's a block away. It's like you gotta come down the back part and then get through by Finley's. Is that what they?
Yeah.
Yeah. By Finley's, it's over there. It's in that western part. But we went to Almost Queen at the Paramount
Nice.
2 weeks ago, and same thing, packed out. It was a Saturday night. We had dinner reservations, then we're going to the show, and I was like, passed by like the normal lots, and I'm like, people lined up, circling, and I'm like, watch this. Whoop, right around the block, parked right there, no problem. And it is a cut through too.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a cut through there, so you're not even like having to walk all the way around the block. You're halfway in the middle of the block and you just cut right through.
Genius.
Yeah. I've gone there enough that I'm like, places was crazy. There were a lot of people, a lot of foot traffic.
Yeah.
Restaurants were packed. You know.
Yeah, they got Six Harbors is over there. and
Yeah.
they got, Threes has a retail
Yeah.
shop
Tasting
over
room.
there.
Yep.
They're making really great beer over there.
Yeah, the that parking lot right there is nice because you have some access to what's the bar there in the back parking lot.
Sapsuckers?
Yeah, no,
No,
love
the,
Sapsuckers by the way.
Me too.
It's the
We're on
burger
tap
place,
there.
right?
No,
Great tap, and that's where I go before I go to.
Yes.
Before I go to Paramount.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vinny, number one bartender in Long Island.
Yeah, all right. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I always do. I try to do like a little threes, and then I usually pregame at Sapsuckers.
Yeah, I usually
Because-
start drinking too much at Sapsuckers, then I continue drinking too much at Paramount.
Yes.
And then I forget what show I went to.
Oh,
That's
you know
the
what?
end
I
of it.
and just speaking of Paramount, and I'm sorry, just side note here. I'm disappointed on their selection of beer. I am. You know, sometimes they have the little, when you go into the main bar, they have those little side things
Yeah.
that have a little bit
That's
of
their
beverage
San City.
selection. Right. But it's not always. And I did find that this show, it was like a very basic selection. It was like,
Maybe they're making some assumptions about the fan base of.
it
Queen.
was a little older. It was a little older. But I'm not saying, you know, it was like a rock show or something where it was going to be a young band.
They
But,
made no such assumptions about the In Flames crowd.
oh, really?
They did not.
Good beer?
Yeah, it was good.
Is it San City?
I don't know. I don't remember. I think so.
Oh,
I think so.
Oh, you're being serious? You didn't remember?
I remember most of that show. The one before that was.
Oh, you've had some good times.
Yeah.
You're good at pregame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he really is. Really.
Or I'm terrible at pregame.
No, they didn't have the little. They had the side things open. It was like Blue Point Toasted Lager, and I'm like,
Oh, no,
okay.
no. It was San City and something else.
Oh yeah, that would have been nice. I ended up having a Guinness. Yeah, every so often I'm like,
Love Guinness.
yeah, it's a good beer.
I need something I can slam down as quick as I can between sets. And then regret it
Right.
3 seconds later.
Well, you're packed in with 1,000 people on your shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you the tallest one in the crowd?
No.
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 I usually find that I'm one of I can see over everybody's head, and I'm not that tall. Like I'm 6'2", but I'm not that tall.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot. I'm a little above average.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. I've been noticing it lately in crowds. Maybe they're getting younger and I'm staying the same age. I don't know if that is that the answer.
I mean, are you going to shows with children?
No. Well, I took my kids to the Queen show, but they weren't. We were sitting. We weren't standing. But I mean,
Oh.
prior to that, We went to Ripe at Mulcahy's. Good little band. You can hear about them. But I'm standing relatively in the back, and my wife is, like 5'9" or whatever, and she's, looking through, heads, and I'm just clear shot to the stage, and I just realized, I'm like, I don't ever feel that tall, but when I go to a concert like that, it's nice. It's one of the benefits of being tall. I always see the show. I never miss
What an
it.
interesting side.
I'm just saying. It brought me to it. Because I was pondering it that night, and I remember, Mulcahy's had better beer selection. They had 60-minute. God forbid they have a 60-minute basic beer at the Paramount. Love 60-minute. If you haven't get that, so
Figure
for our
that out.
audience.
Figure that out.
Yeah. All right, so you guys are. What step are we on now? Where are we at? Moving in the right direction. I hope we have the production facility. Actively seeking a space for tap room, or what have we done so far?
I'd say actively seeking. If anyone out there knows of any spaces becoming available, we are all ears.
It's a
Hit
platform
us up.
ready.
We're on Instagram.
Yeah.
Feel free to reach out.
And you're looking at Huntington or Northport. Anything else? Like, would there be a third option?
Those are our top two.
Yeah.
And,
Potentially East Northport,
Right.
just a little bit away, but I think Huntington Northport's probably the
Yeah.
goal.
the idea, for me at least, is have a spot where people are walking around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't have to drive to.
Yeah.
Because, don't drink and drive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, you want to take advantage of everyone else's foot traffic, right? You
Absolutely.
go to a place that is a
Absolutely.
destination before you can make yourself the destination, I would think,
100%.
right? Yeah.
Exactly.
And you probably got plenty of options in Huntington in regards to storefronts because they come and go pretty quickly.
With crazy high rent.
Yeah. But
That's probably the easiest avenue going forward is just a storefront, kind of like what Threes is doing.
right.
Sure.
We'll keep our manufacturing facility,
Yeah.
and we'll bring the kegs and cans down there, and hopefully, be able to open a nice little tasting room where people want to come and hang out.
Speaking of Threes, have you been to the Moynihan Hall Threes in New York City?
I've walked by it quite a few times.
Yeah. Oh, you work in the city?
I work
Oh,
in
yeah.
there, yeah.
I'm impressed because I never knew what was ever in that library or whatever that was over in Moynihan Hall, whatever that used to be. It was a library, right? Or was it something
I have
else?
no idea.
I don't
The
know.
train station?
No, well,
Now it
Penn,
is.
and then across the
Yeah.
street under 33rd, whatever, no, 9th. Under 9th, there was a huge building, pillars in the front. I always thought it was like either the post office or the library or something like that. And now they converted the entire thing to a huge shopping mall.
Ah.
It's clean. It's brand new. I mean, as long as things stay clean in New York City. But Three set up a spot there too. Man, they're really doing the golden dream for people that want to do that kind of thing. They're in Huntington. They're in the city. They actually have their place in Brooklyn, right?
Brooklyn, I think.
And then there's another place. There's another Three somewhere, and I'm missing it. What it is?
Did they have a place up in the Finger Lakes, or is that just?
They might have. They might have went upstate too. And it's just a complete expansion
Someone else from
of
Queens is in Finger Lakes, and I can't remember who.
Dubco.
No.
No. That's Warwick.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but yeah, I mean, it's the dream, I would imagine, for you guys wanting to do your thing. The production would have to go through the fucking roof, I would imagine, but yes,
Yes.
to
Good-
supply all
good
of that.
problems.
Yeah.
Happy problems.
Yeah. So I mean, let's back up for just a second. You have your production space. You're actively seeking this. You said you had a core beer.
We got a few, yeah.
All right.
The one I was talking about. What was I talking about?
English mild?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
the
oh,
English
yes.
mild. Yeah.
Mild
You don't
child.
see a lot of those.
No.
But, I like beer that you can drink
Mm.
and not, like, die
Choke down.
afterwards. Well, that too. Yeah, it should taste good. But, the 4.5%
Yeah.
sessionable just tastes good, and you can have a lot of them. And so we have a couple like that. Actually, that nice segue.
You have beer.
I did myself. I brought some beer.
Yeah. What's the lowest, as you're doing that, what's the lowest beer you've done? You've done like a real low session, or?
Actually, yeah, the mild started out at 3.8.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's table beer. That's
Yeah.
like wine
It's like
at an
second
Italian
running
restaurant.
I had that. Yeah, actually, from it was Jack's Abbey.
Yeah.
When we went up there. They had a line of beers that were like second run
Love
beers.
Jack's Abbey,
It
yeah.
was
Yeah.
some 2%. I think it was the
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Wasn't-
wait,
I'm not
that's
wasting my
right. We
time
went
here.
out. Yes,
Yeah,
at the
when
time we went.
That, on the
I'm
way
like,
home
wait
from
a
Boston.
Sounds like water.
Yeah. It sounds a little like just
I like Jack's Abbey though. I like the the idea of like everything is a lager.
water I sneezed into, and it's 2%. Well, I'm sorry. I'm a little out of that. Oh, I like the labeling. We got to get into that.
So
What's
this
the highest beer that you've made, ABV wise?
that would probably be the Imperial Stout. It was just under 10 that came out on. And we actually, it was an experiment. We threw that into some barrels that had previously housed bourbon and maple syrup.
As one does.
Well, you got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
As we should.
And that came out pretty damn good.
Damn. Then did you can that? Bottle it? Would you?
We did can it, yeah.
Nice.
But that's
On
that's
16-ounce cans?
Secret preserve. Whatever you call it.
Yeah, reserve. You're right.
Yeah.
But it is preserved for now because you're
Yeah.
touching that shit for.
Yeah, you come knock on the door. I'll share some with you.
What was that process like? Like, is that
Scary.
Scary. I was.
You know,
Took the words.
You don't know. Like, I don't brew a lot of big beers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, I like brewing beers that I can have glasses of. So, tried it out and it worked. So
and it's a shit ton of grain, I would imagine.
a lot
Just
of grain.
We
Yeah.
maxed-
Longer
maxed
longer
out the
boils,
system on that.
longer mashing. Trying to get all that shit.
and it's a lot of money because
Yeah.
compared to some of the other beers that you're brewing. That's where
sure.
the scary comes
For
in.
sure.
You don't want to have to dump it or anything like that. Speaking of which, have you had to dump stuff?
Only, not on the big system.
Okay.
On our pilot system, we had a couple experiments that went awry for various reasons.
Gotta learn
I'm
somehow.
not gonna name names, but you know who you are.
Someone turned a dial, or was it the ingredients just weren't right, or
Experimenting with ingredients can be fun.
okay?
It doesn't always work.
To a point.
It doesn't
So
always work.
how we were doing it then is every week one of us would come in with our different recipe.
Ah.
So over 2 years, like we tried all sorts of different things, and it got all of us involved with the recipe making, ingredient searching, procurement of everything. So we all really learned that whole process through that.
and learning from each other. I mean, you guys,
100%.
come in and like, where'd you, the things that you did to this, and then you guys kind of throw feedback on each other
Yep.
and push each other to get better and better.
Yeah.
This is delicious, by the way.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I just pulled out is one of our signature beers.
I don't go too far into the build and the ingredients yet.
Okay.
That's session after Steve's 3 questions that it's going to turn into Pete's 3 questions.
Perfect. I will say nothing.
But yes, no, you can
nothing
talk
of what goes into it.
Yeah.
But I will tell you
speak
that
of
it's a low ABV beer. It's 4.7%.
Yep.
The idea is to have just a crushable beer, kind of like trying to bridge the gap a little between like the Coors Light drinkers who don't really aren't into the craft, and then the craft drinkers that are into the
Right.
craft. And the Raft Up, the name, actually, I think John came up with that one.
I did.
Yeah. Please tell us how you came up with that.
Well, raft up is what we like to do on the weekends all together in Northport. We all go out on our boats, raft up together, and drink beer.
Pretty much.
Sounds great.
Wish I had a
Yeah. So
boat.
the label is pretty cool, I think.
Yes.
The label is pretty great.
It's
And are the other labels similar on the other?
yeah, we
Nice.
we have a similar style. It's two-tone color with the metallic.
Yeah, it really sets it out.
It is nice.
Kind of stands out, and that's.
I think it's like
what
a
you
piece of
always
art.
want.
Yeah.
Like
You gotta,
it's
I
pretty.
mean, when you start selling at retail,
Yeah,
if you ever get into beverage, then you gotta have something that fucking, pops on the shelf.
pops.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So this one in particular, it's all of our boats.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
There you
Yeah,
go.
and you can see mine is the little dinghy, which I'm very proud of.
Which is fitting.
Hey now.
Now you guys.
To go back one, what were the ingredients that did not work that had to get dumped? What are the ones that?
Oh, you really want to?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, you really want to know that one.
Too much vanilla bean.
Became
No,
like
but-
more spicy than anything else, or too hot, like heat wise. Because I know like vanilla extract really is too much of that. You just
Oh man,
feel it.
if
on
I
your
ever have
tongue.
to, if I'm ever baking something that is like garlic, there's
You
not
use
enough.
a drop. Really?
Oh yeah, no, like a tablespoon.
Instead of a teaspoon.
Fuck yeah.
We were
Really, a
using,
vanilla?
I don't even measure it. I fucking eyeball it.
Yeah.
Well, you got those rainbow cookies just scalding hot with the almond extract and the vanilla.
Almond
extract.
extract, I think you really can go. That a little does go.
All right, I mean,
Vanilla though, no.
No?
No, there's
See, I yell at my kids. They make like little vanilla shakes sometimes, ice cream and milk,
Oh.
and they'll dump a little bit of vanilla extract in there, and
Yeah,
you
I
can tell
would-
immediately if it's too much. Like I go, well,
No
nope,
such thing.
too much vanilla.
Yeah, you got to start small and
Yeah.
add. Like if
And
you
build
go
it.
too much, then it's ruined.
Yeah.
You can't go backwards.
So that
I haven't found that line yet.
All right. Well,
you haven't been brewing yet.
what do I know?
You're one man, Pete. One man with a vanilla fetish, we'll call it
Maybe
for now.
That maple syrup. I feel like though that's the ingredient. That's the adjunct in beers that I find like there's never like when I hear a beer has maple in it. Like I want to get I want like a 16-ounce can to smack me in the face with fucking maple syrup.
I had a maple stout this past weekend, and I could not taste the maple, and I was very disappointed.
We had brewery. I'm a big fan of from Vermont, 14 Star. I think they make outstanding stuff. Veteran brewery. They're just fucking great. And they have a maple breakfast stout. I figure they're from Vermont. One of their major exports is maple syrup. And it's the only beer theirs that I find like a little disappointing. Just is not enough maple. But
Give me the maple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the rest of their beers, though.
the rest, citronade is
Citronade.
so goddamn good. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah. So
not to plug someone else.
you
but-
digress on your vanilla
I do,
and
I
maple
do.
syrup. But that's one of the ones that just kind of destroyed it. Was it a stout?
No,
Oh,
that's
What was that?
that was. I don't know.
Was it a porter?
No, it was like a.
was it like a light
beer,
beer?
wasn't it?
Yeah, you could
Really?
go too much vanilla there.
If you're doing like,
Yeah, I'd like to forget about that.
yeah.
I think it was. I think it was supposed to be a vanilla porter,
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah.
but our
You couldn't tell
one
what it
of
was
our,
at the end.
One of our partners used whole vanilla beans, not extract,
Oh.
and
Yeah, it's.
like was trying to marinate them in alcohol and then poured them.
Oh,
in
yeah,
or
in the
something.
vodka.
It was interesting.
Vodka went in with it.
All right.
You
well,
try things.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
it works,
Yeah.
sometimes it don't.
and I
That does
assume
sound like an
that's on the
expensive mistake,
pilot
too, a
batch.
fuck ton of vanilla beans.
It was the pilot system.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately,
we didn't ruin that much
It was
beer
only,
at
it was
that
only
point.
15 gallons.
All right. So that's not too bad. Thank goodness. But that was the 10% stout was the highest.
That's the highest I've ever made. Yeah. I know brewers have a lot of different ways of getting up that ABV up there, adding sugar during fermentation or using champagne yeast and like. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. I do have plans to recreate to an extent that double stout, imperial stout, whatever you want to call it, and get some legit bourbon barrels. So we're looking out for those too.
Where'd you get the barrels in the first place?
Upstate New York.
Yeah, I got those from a farmer upstate in Chittenango, New York.
Wow.
Shout out to Chittenden.
Yeah. gee. And they're bourbon people, or are they just had them
Or
on
maple.
They were maple syrup people.
Because the
Wow.
bourbon people can only use barrel once, right?
Once,
And then
Yeah.
Ah.
So we had it third hand.
Now, still, you got both
It was-
sets of flavors
It was
infused there.
delicious.
Yeah,
That's-
the bourbon could have been a little, the maple syrup stole a lot of the bourbon,
Yeah.
which,
But that's what Pete would like, so he's like...
Yeah.
would
But then you get a ton of maple flavor, and
you get a
little
decent
bit of,
amount, decent amount of maple flavor. Well, I'll bring you a can next time.
We'll come up there on the opening.
There you
We'll
go.
share one together in celebratory fashion.
Perfect.
So you guys, moving along here, what's the next step? What do you guys have to do next? Your facility's up and cranking. You're doing your weekly brews. You're obviously putting stuff in cans and still kind of selling packaging out of the production facility. So obviously finding a spot to kind of do this, at a storefront. What else? What else you need to do, leading up to that point? We always say people that are opening breweries, grand opening, grand closing, really being able to supply and get through that first 2 weeks because you're going to get slammed. New breweries get slammed in the first week or two.
Everybody's got to try the new thing.
Everything. 100%. And then they run out and they're gone for 2 weeks and people forget. So is there a plan for stocking, for long-term storage? What do you guys...
There is now.
I didn't mean to feed all that to you. It's not an advice show. I'm just saying that's what I've heard.
John, grab my notebook.
Yeah. But for facility-wise, and you have this system, is there upgrades you're foreseeing? Is there something else you need to do? Can you even put something more in there?
We can add more fermenters and just brew more often.
2 batch brews.
2 batch brews.
5 barrel is as far as like a space restriction. That's as big as you can get in that space. You think?
Height-wise, I guess, too.
Yeah, I would say
We
so.
could probably get a 10 barrel in there, double batch if we want to. Like you could double batch raft up pretty easily. It
Yeah.
turns pretty quick.
Yeah.
What's
Finishes
the,
fast.
and again, not trying to go in too much detail, but what's the rest time on this after it's been in the fermenter?
It's about a week.
So it's
Yeah.
turn and
Yeah,
burn
you
with
can do
those.
that.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
really do a lot, which is great,
Yeah.
and especially for a core beer. And I wanted to say before when you were mentioning, the Coors Light drinkers, you need an approachable beer. Any new brewery needs an approachable beer. When people come in and they're not craft people, and you're going to get a hell of a lot of craft people, so you're going to have something to.
But they're going to bring their friends that aren't.
Right,
And
and
they
they're
need
gonna,
something for that.
and they need something for them.
Yep.
Have you done IPAs? Have you done anything like
yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
You
one of
must.
our other flagship beers
Yeah. Okay.
is called Fathom.
Ooh.
It's a New England style
With a PH or with an F?
with an F.
Okay.
So a
with
lot of
the-
our names are nautical,
Nautical.
related.
Yeah.
Fathom. 6
Northport.
feet. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Northport.
Yep.
Cow Harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're sticking with that for the most
Yeah.
part.
No, stick there.
There's
That's
an
a,
anchor on the
it's a good
tree.
name. It stands out. I like it.
Yeah. So that one we actually canned along with the raft up, just smaller amounts. Our yields aren't great with the IPAs because we're doing
A lot of hop.
large dry
Yeah.
hop editions, large
Just-
whirlpool editions.
Particulate or particulate? Particulate, just
Particulate.
particulate, just soaking up all the juice.
So
and
much. So much.
then- yeah,
We like the yields are.
like a third
Depressing.
is gone. Yeah,
It's
it's depressing.
it is.
You think you've dumped the hop cone, and
Yeah.
then you go and you dump it 3 more times,
Oh,
and it's still
God.
coming. And you're like, good
Yeah.
gracious.
Because we like those flavors.
But,
Yeah.
but that's what makes
And
it what
that's
it is.
Yeah.
Not only that, that's what sells. That's a big
Yeah.
part
Well,
of the
that
market.
yeah.
that one's gone, so we don't have any more.
Because that's usually the first thing I would go to. Like some
Yeah.
people say, the brewers go to the lagers, the pilsners, the ales to see how the brewer does. For me, who's not a brewer but knows a little bit about it, I go right to the IPA because then I know what the flavor profiles I want out of my IPA or my pale ale or one of the two. Because that's all I drink. I really just not all. I dabble in everything else, but like for the most part, my daily routine is an IPA.
As much as I don't like to, same thing. Like that's most of my stash is usually. And then there's a few
IPA.
thousands
I'm
in the
saying
back
like
of the fridge.
80% of the beers that I have in my house are IPA. Everything else is sprinkled out between a porter, a stout, a sour, a pilsner, a lager, and I'll get to those. I like to break it up every so often, but like if
Man
I
can only have so much Galaxy.
no. And double it up with Citra, and then we're good to go. Like that's really the way and I'll take a West Coast too because I like the bitterness.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to switch, I'm going to go from an East Coast to a West Coast, or from a hazy to something a little more piney and rigid, or a pale. And that's just what I'm into, and I think most people are kind of in there too. I always want to try to get the feedback from the audience sometimes and say, hey, how many people just drink IPAs? Like that's just it. And can I consider myself a craft drinker? I don't know. But, I mean, I'm just a, IPA whore.
Yes.
Easy.
Love that about you.
Yeah. Thank you. Will.
IPAs are great.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're delicious.
And it really does tell me a lot about your brewing style, the ingredients that you're using. And, once you get that flavor right, I'm coming back. I'm a repeat customer. Because if you can do what Dogfish did to me when I was a kid, and I still drink it today like it's nothing, you got me. And I'll go to the same IPAs all the time. All the time.
Yeah, we've been working on this Fathom recipe for 2.5 years. And every time we're, small little incremental adjustments, whether it's the salts that we're using or the ratio of the hops, it's getting better and better every single time. This last batch is fire. We just put it into kegs. So if you're out there, you can buy them.
Well, where can they? Where's
Hit
that
us
on
up
tap?
on their Instagram. Oh, wow. Oldfields Barbecue in Huntington.
Oh, I know Oldfields.
Fathom. Where else is Fathom? Crab Trees in Huntington.
Yes, I've been up the upstairs one, right?
Yeah, that's the
it's the one
upstairs
on the
one.
corner. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the hair salon. and then-
Sapsuckers.
right.
Yep.
Oh, is it at Sapsuckers?
From time to time.
Yeah, depending on their
depending on
availability.
They
rotation.
rotate.
They rotate.
Their
Oh my
menu
God.
their tab menu is always.
I love
phenomenal.
that place.
Yeah.
They have so many good beers on tap at
And the
any
food's
given
great,
time.
too.
Yeah, the
Where
food's
can you
really good.
find Racer 6 from Bear Republic?
In California?
On tap. I know.
Yeah.
And at Sapsuckers. Like,
yeah, right.
I see it there and I go, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
their
I-
selection is always incredible.
I haven't thought about that beer in a long time.
right? That's
Such a
what
good-
I'm saying.
such a good beer.
Such a good beer. And it's just old school. And you're like, wow. And they bring it on and it sells out like almost immediately. So
yeah.
they know what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
whoever their ordering guy is or girl is fantastic and knows exactly what the people
They're
want.
doing the Lord's work up there.
They're doing the Lord's work.
God bless him.
God bless him.
What are
and
the?
save him.
How much has been going in kegs? How much has been going into cans so far?
It's a good question.
And how much has been going in your stomachs?
I'd say we've only done one can run
Okay.
to date. So we did that in mid-January. We have some raft up left. Our other 2 IPAs that we canned, we sold out of pretty quick, which was great.
Everybody wants those
Everyone loves the
IPAs.
IPA.
You got it. if
that
you
is-
make a good one, people are coming.
Oh, the labels are pretty too.
Yeah.
20 to 30% of the market is probably,
Yeah.
or more.
Probably.
Probably.
More.
Yeah.
Probably more.
Hazies.
And then
Yeah.
really the rest of the time we're just kegging to service accounts.
Excellent.
So we have a bunch of accounts down in Northport and in Huntington, like Will was saying, where we're just trying to stay on tap, and I think we're doing a pretty good job at it. And
Yeah.
we have like our tap handles are beautiful, people love them, and yeah.
Do you guys make them, or you had someone, or you commissioned someone?
We
to
hired a
make it?
company to
Nice.
do it. We wanted to look professional from the get go, so we spent the money and the time. And
It's got the anchor right on top of it, and then it's like a 3-way with Cow Harbor.
3-sided. You can see it from
Yeah.
any place in the
Okay.
room.
Yeah.
You know.
And I like the logo. Like some people do these like really intricate tattoo style. It's just simple and clean.
Yeah.
We're trying to create an icon.
Right.
So
The
eventually,
Nike swoosh.
Right.
That
Exactly.
That anchor with the horns will be our symbol, and we can drop the name. Like that was the intent.
You don't like the Cow Harbor name? I like it.
No, not drop it, but just not
Minimize
not
it.
necessary.
You can
Yeah.
just, you can just
So if
have
you
the
see
anchor.
that on a
Do it.
hat,
You just
You
know
want to get to the
exactly
point that, like, yeah.
what it is.
It's the print symbol.
Yes.
Exactly.
Got it. Now, obviously, the Cow Harbor came from one of the 6 harbors in Huntington.
Yeah.
What were other options besides Cow Harbor?
That was
throwing
it.
around.
That was it, man. That was it.
There's a good story behind
There-
that,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So Northport used to be called Cow Harbor.
Yes.
We have a history nerd over here. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's a sign right in the village that says Cow Harbor.
Yeah, and the town is really proud of it. My family has history going back 4 generations in Northport.
Really?
Yeah, I had my great grandfather came over from Italy. He used to sell oysters and clams from harbor to harbor.
In the dinghy.
Yeah, and well, he had a dinghy. Yeah, but he also had a farm on Waterside Avenue, which
Okay.
is actually where I grew up too. And he had cattle, and he would take the cattle down
Wild
to the
to imagine
harbor.
I know, right?
Cattle on
It was nothing but
like,
trees
there's so many
and,
farms.
and,
Yeah.
and dirt roads back then.
Crazy.
So he would, it was free grazing down by the harbor. So we would take all his cows down there, and like literally how the town got its name was everybody else who was farming doing the same thing. So that's a really cool thing. Yeah. So when the brothers, had the idea originally to do this, they're like, well, Cow Harbor's it's it.
Yeah.
Like that's the name.
They trademarked the name in 2012.
Jeez.
They were forward
they?
thinking.
Like,
Smart.
happen or not happen, they were keeping the
It was
name.
it was theirs.
If it doesn't happen, you can just
Yeah.
sit on that fucking
So
trademark.
one of the brothers
like troll.
trademarked it and gave it to one of the other brothers for like his birthday or Christmas or something.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
think
so
it was a
that's
birthday present.
it's really nice, really cool story.
Pete, do you want a brewery name? I'll trademark it for you. Give it to you for your birthday.
Maybe. I mean, my birthday's coming up in a few months.
What's Farmingdale's original name? Farmingdale?
Yeah, probably.
You can make it Breslau for me, but there's already a Breslau.
There is.
I know. Couldn't get that done now. That sucks.
That's the other place we haven't had on yet.
Yeah, well,
Breslau.
they're not ready.
Ah.
I don't even think they're brewing anything. I mean, who knows? I've talked to them. They're really nice guys, but there's just no interest in being more than what they are. I think it was more they wanted to be like a social club and decided if we're going to do this, and not get in trouble all the time, let's just turn it into a brewery and call it that, and then we'll just still continue being a social club. Because I remember before they even opened, that they had the storefront and the curtains were always closed, but you could see the lights were on and there were people in there. No, well, the mayor was always in there too, so he knows somebody.
That doesn't mean it's not shady.
Well,
That
I'm
means
just
it's
saying.
Probably more shady.
More or less. But I think then, things may have transpired and people said, what's going on there? And then, for how long on a major
Bunch of
thoroughfare
fucking
like
Karens in
Wellwood
your town.
can you, well, they could be, but I don't know if that was it. But I just think
My
that.
mom's probably one of them.
And probably, how long can you do that for before you have to actually, show face in a way? So I think that's what they did, because they do have people go in there, but I rarely see their own beer on tap there. It's always, guest taps.
Interesting.
And, I'll say, in their defense, I haven't been in there since, September, October time. And they always have their pumpkin beer. So that's why I always go in.
Year round?
No,
okay.
Just that area, like September, October time,
Yeah,
they'll have their pumpkin
sure.
beer on. And they have a pretty good one. So I always go in and patronize. Not in that way, but you know what I'm saying? I'm a patron just to show, support for the community and stuff like that. And then, they're going to take a bigger hit now with Great South Bay opening that restaurant,
That's right.
brew pub in there.
That's right.
So they're going to be like the lowest of low man on totem pole in regards to breweries in my town. But
I'm waiting for like a
a real brewery,
cross Wellwood fist fight when they
right?
open up.
yeah.
we had in Sand City.
Like the Jets and the what's the other
Sharks?
Thank
Is that
you.
it?
Yes, that's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
West Side Story.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Good reference. But it's different because they don't have a brewing system. They have I think a one 5-barrel system in the back. I've seen one fermenter, like 27 did when they first started, and then he updated and updated. But they're not contracting, and like I said, I very rarely see more than a beer on tap that's theirs.
Interesting.
So, do I consider it a brewery?
I'm sure they
guess
would.
because they have a beer of theirs, but when you're doing that, I feel like you got to have a lot more to offer. Right away they're not packaging. These guys that don't have a space, they're already packaging and selling. So, it's one of those things where I'm like, how far would I call
the
that a
canning room?
brewery?
You guys, Malt Man? Is that the?
Yes.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Yep.
They do a great job.
Oh,
They're
awesome.
everywhere too.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. Like perfect setup, man.
Yeah, I've heard.
Super
Miss-
nice guys.
Was Mr. Green the one coming over?
Yep.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Guy makes really good beer too.
Sure
Yes,
does.
yes, he does.
We had him on.
We had him on, too.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
We you name it.
Yeah.
You know what the other one we haven't had on? We mentioned Shelter Island, who has started back up
Oh,
making
that's right.
beer. Who was
right.
contracting at Long Island, but since Long Island is out, for the most part, Shelter Island didn't have a place to brew anymore. So, and about Riverhead, right? Who am I talking about? Steve's friendly Jeff, the owner. No,
I don't know.
we'll get back to
Okay.
that. But they sold. They're gone.
Long Island?
No,
Oh,
River.
all right.
Peconic.
Peconic.
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah, they've been gone.
I know, but I'm just saying we haven't really talked on the air about it by any chance. But they're considering opening a new space for a new brewery there.
Oh,
So
wait,
interesting
yeah.
enough. We'll see what happens.
talk about that later.
Yeah, well, I'm just throwing it out there.
All
People,
right.
people don't know things. They've been cooped up in their houses since November. I don't know. Anyway, you guys, you were asking a question. And I wanted to follow up on that. You had said something about the
Malt Man?
yes, Maltman. Thank you. You planning on potentially buying your own canning line? Is that in the cards? Going back to
Is
my
that something
question
that fits in
before,
the manufacturing space?
right?
We could fit it. We can make some moves and make some space for that. I think what I realized watching Mr. Green, as you referenced him,
Love.
was you gotta really know the piece of equipment that you're working with, and it's time consuming. You got to be in it and really committed to that. So I think for the immediate future, we're 100% happy. Keep using those guys. They're the pros. Down the road, this becomes a full-time gig for some of us. We'll probably take that step then.
Yeah.
Now, have you thought about? And again, I don't want it's not an advice show, but I'm just foreseeing things that we've heard on the show. You get big. Contracting. Your production space can't handle the amount of production. Have you shown any interest in potentially contracting out, finding a space where someone can help you out with some tank space and things like that?
Again, happy problems.
Of course.
Yeah.
We've talked about it internally, and a couple names get thrown around. I'm sure on Long Island.
Who do
South
you
Bay.
who do you guys admire on Long Island, brewery-wise? We're not leaving anybody out. We're just saying who
Great
you think.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you think are some of the big names? Not big names, but for you, I say liquid-wise.
Yeah.
Who are those?
Well, you got to start in our hometown, Sand City.
Yeah.
those guys have been
And now in my hometown,
Yeah.
which I'm
Yeah.
loving.
no, those guys have been super helpful to us the whole way. Like,
Yeah.
one time we were short on like a bag of grain for one of the recipes because I screwed up the ordering. I'll take the credit, the blame. And Kevin's like, "Hey, come on over to the brewery, pick up a bag, just return, whenever you can." Like they've been so nice.
Yeah, he's helped us a lot.
Yeah, and their IPAs are killer.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk IPAs on Long Island.
Yeah,
There's only a few I can mention
that's the name that comes to mind.
Yeah.
To me.
immediately.
Yeah,
And it's
Yeah.
good company to be in that town,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
It's like 27 and Sand City. I mean, it's like that 1-2 relationship that they have with them. Same exact thing in Northport. I mean, they've really shown that they know how to brew their beer. Between, their IPAs and then even some of their stouts are just, Jesus. Some of the stuff they've been doing over the
I like
years.
the Belgian ones they do too, like Toffel beer and.
Yeah, and the wit, the Belgian wit, the Stormborn.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
love
yeah.
Stormborn.
I do. That one's a good one.
Yeah. And my wife loves the sours. Like, she loves Sand City sours enough already. And they do like the whole line of different flavors and profiles and stuff like that. So good mentors to have too in the town.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. It was funny because you don't know until you know how other competition is gonna react when you jump into the scene.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, I was a little nervous. I didn't.
Yeah, they're big boys.
yeah,
It's
but it was just like, how can I help
Complete
from day
gentleman.
one? Yeah.
Now, you guys were talking about, and we got to get to Steve's 3 questions in just a moment, but you guys were talking about joining the Long Island Brewers Association.
Guild. The
Guild. Sorry, I said association.
Guild.
I'm so used to saying Brewers
The
Association.
Lollipop Guild.
Guild's a much
The
cooler
Lollipop
word.
Guild. What drove you to that? What do you guys, what do
Well,
you
I love-
expect? Just the
Love the
camaraderie?
community, yeah. We want to get involved with their events. They're talking about doing a beer festival this summer. Love to
Great.
get in on that.
The Fire Island one is awesome.
Yeah,
The Lighthouse one.
I mean, one of the
great
main
one.
reasons was just to
Network,
to
right? Yeah.
network.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
just networking.
And you got Manny, the president of Long Island, for the most part, from Mythology. You really can't go in here, without Manny's name coming up or some sort. And just think about some of the breweries that he has kind of brought, like Jones Beach, kind of blowing up. New people on the scene. I see it everywhere now. By the way, I don't know if you're looking in beer distributors, but Jones Beach is everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everywhere. And I'm like, oh, wow, they're putting a lot more cans out and stuff like that. So, Brian and I can't, whatever. They're doing a great job. I'm terrible with names sometimes.
So much. Yeah.
There's so many people we know that I'm just like, those guys. Also people to also consider, and I know, and I was going to say, comes up with Long Beach, Dan over in Long Beach, and those guys have been phenomenal to other people as well. So if you ever need like a Nassau County hookup, just give them a call. They're the same way. They'll rush
That's
to your
what I've
aid.
noticed. It's been really heartwarming, and like even Oyster Bay. Like I reached through a mutual friend. I reached out to their owner, and he was like, "Yeah, how can I help? What do you need?" I'm like, "This is cool." It's like every time I screw up, I can just call another brewery and they'll help me out.
They've screwed up before. They
Yeah,
know how
they
you
know.
feel. Yeah.
I don't care why they do it. As long
We
as they
were
do it.
we were welcome with open arms at Oyster Bay the day we went up there.
Yeah,
They let
yeah,
us
super
do
nice.
like a whole photo shoot session.
Cool little tap room. I regret that photo session.
Do you?
Oh, it's so weird.
It's awesome, especially when you put metal music to it in a montage. Yeah, I'm gonna repost it now. Now you said it. Anyone's listening to the podcast, go over to our Instagram and you're gonna see a nice little metal rendition of our photo shoot from Oyster Bay. But they've been around for a while, forever.
Yeah.
It feels like they're one of the OGs now.
Yeah.
And I have a good buddy that lives up in Oyster Bay, and that's our first stop every time we go out with
It's a
the
really
family.
cool space.
Yeah, it is.
Love the shuffleboard. You got plenty of space for kids to
You
be.
can see the brewing equipment. Which
You're
is
in it.
cool.
You almost feel like you're in the brewing,
Yep.
equipment, which is awesome. And great beers. Alexa is one of my favorite IPAs. I love it. When I find it, because it's harder to find more and more with all the cans that are on the shelves these days. We're going to take a quick break with a segment. Since Steve's not here, we're going to call it Pete's 3 Questions. But we're going
now
to
I gotta
find out a
remember the
little bit
fucking
about
questions.
you guys and your craft beer prowess. So we'll be right back with, hold on, let me just get the camera set up, with Steve's 3 questions.
I got to think of the 3 questions.
Do you?
Yeah.
There's the audio.
Hey, you cool hep cats. Tonight, we bring you a very special presentation. 3 questions with our very own Steve Pominski. Yeah. Steve's questions. 3 questions from Steve. 3 questions. Steve's questions. Go.
I'll do that for Steve. That's always Steve's thing.
Uh,
All right, so wait, we got to preface this
Yeah.
by saying Steve asks, he's going to ask you, or Pete's going to ask you, Pete's 3 questions, is going to ask you 3 questions. We're going to do it one at a time. We'll start with Will, and then we'll get to John.
and I'll hopefully remember all 3.
All right, so these 3 questions will tell us kind of a little bit
I think
about kind of
okay.
where
I think I
your
got it. I think I got
background in craft beer is. Not us, really the audience. I mean, we've heard a million answers, so it doesn't really make a difference to us.
What is that first beer that got you into craft beer? Like, if you grew up, getting shit-faced on Bud Light at 19 like I did, what made you stop drinking, getting shit-faced on Bud Light? Or
Natty
anything?
Ice.
Natty Ice.
Probably Sierra Nevada.
Ooh, which one? The
Most
pale?
common answer, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Yeah, pale ale.
Yeah.
I agree. That was one of the ones that kind of ended up that and my other one, but I've said it. Yeah, those 2 and Stone.
Oh yeah, Stone IPA.
Stone IPA, Sierra Nevada, Pale Ale, and we'll also say Magic Hat. Those 4. Those
Magic
4.
Number
that's
9.
number 9.
Yeah.
I have a picture
Circus
of.
Boy.
Yeah,
Another-
well,
another
no.
classic.
Number 9. I'm just saying that broke me into craft beer.
Oh, sure.
That's
sure.
what it is. When Efren Grooven was there and they had number
Yes.
9 on tap, I mean, it was
All
like,
the time.
what is
I have a
all
tap
of this?
handle. I have the number 9 tap
So do
handle.
I. Yeah,
it's cool.
I love it.
For me, so probably around the 2008, I started really getting into the craft. I was living up in Boston at the time.
It's like drugs. I was getting into the rock.
Well,
I was
gotta
hitting the
start
pipe
somewhere.
real hard.
I was in there pretty hard. But the local brewery for me was Harpoon.
Oh,
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh,
So
we've been to
their-
the
Their
Boston
IPA,
location is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's an amazing place. Their Harpoon IPA was it.
ooh, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
it for me.
We went, right?
Yes, yeah, we went to Boston.
Yeah, we had some dinner
I
there,
did the Vermont one,
lunch.
too. It was
There was a
nice.
festival going out in the parking lot. We didn't
Yeah.
even know about it. It's a nice facility.
It's
Yes,
amazing.
it's very large too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't realize that how big it actually was going to be. You go to Sam Adams and you're like, this is beer campus, or you go to 60
Yeah.
Minute Dwarfish, and you're like, wow. And then you go to Harpoon, you're like, wow. You don't
Pretty big
realize.
facility, and not one of they make great beer.
Yeah.
But not one of the first names you think of in that early craft beer scene. But
They've been around forever,
but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, if you grew up in Boston, maybe
I think they've
I
been
don't know.
around since the 90s. At
Yeah.
least. Yeah.
easily.
They've been around forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Cool. There's Harpoons. That's a new one.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
is
one. I
not.
like it.
Yeah, I also like her.
What do I win?
Yeah. You get a Wort prize pack.
All right.
What is your favorite style? And I know that can vary for a lot of people from season to season, but what would you guys say is your favorite style?
Dead air.
Drink or brew?
All right. I'm an IPA guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hazy, West Coast, or yes?
It's hard. It's hard to find a really solid West Coast IPA out here.
It is.
So I mostly pick up the hazies.
Yeah.
I mean, living up in Boston back in the day, I'm sure you can guess which my first hazy was.
Trillium, Treehouse, which one?
Heady Topper.
Oh, there you
Ah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
grandfather.
funny story. I just had some Heady Toppers. I poured them into a glass, no particulate.
You ignored the rules on the can.
I sure
Supposed to-
did.
Supposed to drink out of the can.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
because they don't want you to see all the shit that's in it, but it wasn't that
I
bad.
actually prefer Focal Banger to Heady Topper.
I haven't had Focal Banger in a while. You know who used to have it is Beer Cheese in Northport.
No.
Oh,
Is it
brew cheese.
Brew
Yeah,
cheese. Sorry, brew cheese. They used to have Alchemist often, and I think one day I had Heady Topper and Focal Banger in one sitting. And Focal Banger's a West Coast or a pale?
No. East
It's
Coast.
the East Coast.
Yeah.
Has a
Another
little more
just
bitter
different-
taste to it, though. Little, if I
It's
recall.
lighter. Right?
Is it?
Yeah. I think
Not as much hot bite to
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
smoother. Yeah. John, what about you? What's that favorite style for you?
Maybe because it's winter. I'm more in like stout season right now.
There you go.
Yeah, but it definitely changes with the seasons.
It does.
Because all summer long, all I want to drink is Raft Up.
Yeah.
Nice plug.
Like it.
Who makes a good stout for you? Who else is who's do you like, local or not?
Besides us.
Obviously.
Besides that 10% that you're hoarding in the basement.
Honestly, I like trying everything.
Okay.
So, like, I usually go to the beer distributor and I see who's doing what with stouts because everyone's putting something new in stouts lately. Like, Blue Point's got all sorts of different things in their stouts.
That's where I
gotta
get
try
thrown
it.
off from stouts is like there's always so many fucking adjuncts in them, and like if it gets past 2, like I don't know, I just have trouble discerning all those.
You like vanilla?
flavors.
Yes.
Vanilla, chocolate.
Chocolate, peppercorn. What?
Yeah, it gets to be a little much.
Where did that come from? But you're right. I mean,
But
once
it
you
is a
start-
style that lends itself to a lot of
Yes.
adjuncts, a lot
And
of
I feel
different.
like nobody's done a lot with it in the past. So
Yeah.
this is like a new territory
Oh,
where
for
people
sure.
are really experimenting with.
While we're on the topic of adjuncts, are you pro breakfast cereal as an addition or anti breakfast cereal as an addition?
I'm not against anything
Depends
that
on
people
how they do
like.
it.
You know, if it tastes good, drink it. We don't go crazy with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe a vanilla bean here, here or there.
Not too much vanilla bean.
little coffee's okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
People on Instagram are checking in. A lot of people are checking in. Sorry we haven't been on Instagram Live in a while. CG3303, Jordan R, Brian. Hey, Brian, that's right. Cal Harbor. How are you doing this, guys? Jay Clancy, Paulie Fingers
people not
from
here.
Ghost, Jordan R. All right, so Focal Banger is the OG Imperial New England IPA. Yep, I agree with you. Got both Focal Banger and Heady in my fridge. Well, fancy you.
Well,
you
drink them before
you,
they're.
you boozy bastard. Bob's Beer Garage. Hey, what's going on? This chick 24 and Rich Ram, and then there's more, and I can't scroll. So
Okay.
a lot of people checking in, saying what's up. So
Before let me ask the
hello.
last question before I forget it.
Yeah, yeah.
It escapes my.
I
vapid
apologize.
fucking
Yeah,
brain.
yeah. If you can go into any,
Yeah, what you go to a bar right now, you can find any beer on tap. What's that one you wanna see? Either the rare one or the one that just you need to have that every time is the go-to.
Since we were talking about Magic Hat number 9, I kind of been craving that now.
yeah.
Bring me back to college days.
I remember when they went to cans.
And
it wasn't the
Magic
same.
Hat's pretty much just
Done.
done.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
I mean,
they
They
kind of
still
exist,
do,
kind of
I
not.
thought they were too big to fail. You know.
Oh, they much
They
like
seem
I
that
don't
way.
know. They did not get a bailout during,
Oh,
during 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
That's for
that
sure.
makes sense. That makes sense.
The production facility, I think, remains. They're still doing it, but in small. They pull back. We'll say that they pull back. So the distribution, I don't think, is as big. I still see it occasionally, but I was saying, when they went to cans with number 9, it just didn't do it for me. Everything just tasted wrong. So for them, bottles really ruled the roost, and I think, unfortunately, that packaging is kind of outdated. When you see that, you're like, Honestly, when I seek out Dogfish 60 Minute, I want the bottle. I don't want the can. I've had the cans in the last few weeks, and I'm kind of turning a little bit, but when you get the bottle, there's just something about the way it sits in that bottle, and that recipe does not change when it's sitting in that bottle. Something about it. I'm more of a purist with that.
They haven't posted anything on social media in a year and a half.
Yeah.
Magic Hat.
Yeah.
Magic Hat.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
Well, good luck
Sad.
finding that number 9, John.
I might still have one somewhere.
It makes you want it more.
I'm sure it's
Yeah,
delicious.
I got a beer fridge, and
And they only make number 9.
yeah, and
That's
I
it.
think they've crossed off most of the stuff that was like Circus Boy and Cosmic Cat or whatever that
Yeah.
was. Their black IPA was fantastic.
Oh,
That was so
How about
good.
that? According to their beer finder, though, I still can find their beer
Yes,
all
It's-
over the place.
It's still around. I said they're still making beer. They're just not
East
you know.
Northport Beverage.
Hey, there you go. There you go, John.
Wow.
Quick trip
Perfect.
to East Northport.
We're stopping on the way home.
They won't be open, sir, but you're going to break in and I won't say a word.
Well, what about you? What is that one you want to find?
Oh, my favorite beer of all time, for many reasons, Cantillon Fufun. It's a apricot sour.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I was over in Brussels years back.
Nice.
They were selling bottles for like $8. I filled my suitcase. Actually, I bought a second suitcase.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Nice.
I bought a second. I'm down to like my last 2.
Oh,
and
savor them.
It's so good. It's like perfection.
Yeah.
Speaking of Brussels, like I big fan of Belgian beers. Those are those that's
Forget
my
about
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm not drinking, like being a little bitch and drinking a lot of hazy IPAs, I want like a Belgian double or a strong ale. But I remember watching the news one time. There was something terrible in the news, and it was related to Brussels. And then the news.
You're like, no, my beer.
A talking head was talking about hey, going to Brussels, like it's not all beer and chocolates over there. And I'm like, fuck, I really thought it was all beer and chocolate.
There's waffles too.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it,
You're
that's
ruining
all
my-
I thought of Belgium. I thought beer, waffles, chocolate, some mussels.
Someone else is agreeing with me, by the way, on the bottles.
JV John Claude Van Damme. Huh?
Yeah.
Nice. I got that reference.
The mussels from Brussels.
Muscles from Brussels. Jordan R. is also saying that Bell's too hearted in a bottle as well. I agree with him as that because I've had that in a can and in the bottle, and the bottle's better than the can. There's just something that
Isn't that weird?
well, maybe it's because what I liked,
But
when they,
way back,
it's what I had it in when I first
would
started
always want
drinking.
a bottle.
And I want it in that flavor profile because the minute it goes in can,
even if it was
changed.
Bud Light, I wanted it in a bottle.
Did you
Yeah.
really? See, Bud Light, I would drink out of a can because it's just.
I
shit
mean,
no
now
matter
it doesn't
what,
matter. But
all right. He's also saying he's got a was that faux phone in my girlfriend's fridge?
Faux-phone, yeah.
Faux phone. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
A couple people checking MKNZ Brewing and Haley K. Murphy. Is that a wife? We don't get a lot of females checking in on our live stream, but hi, Haley. I thought maybe it was in.
She might be a wife.
Demographic
She might be
swings.
single.
Yeah.
so he's very much in the male.
Yes.
male-
If you look at our
kidding.
demographic chart that I look on our analytics, it's quite the 93% male, 10% whoops. Didn't mean to be here.
Hit the
Clicked
wrong-
on it by accident. Came up my feed. Was trying to scroll. Hit it by accident. Now I'm in the live. Oh boy. But thanks everyone on Instagram for checking in. We're here with Cal Harbor. Will and John are here, and we want to now talk about the beer. All right, so let's get right into this. The Raft Up, Golden Ale. Break down this process. What did you guys do to get it to where it is? How many iterations of this were there? What worked, what didn't, and how did it get to this point?
Can I ask a question for? I'm sorry.
Oh my God, I asked 4.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Is there corn in the grain bill?
No.
I knew I was going to be wrong. Okay, great. Please go on.
And proceed.
So this was conceived back in my basement when we were doing our experimental phase, right? Like everyone would come every week with a different recipe, and this, I think we hit it on the head pretty quick. I mean, I think we came up
Like
with this.
the second.
Maybe we did
second
two
batch.
batches of
Yeah.
it, 2 versions of it. We adjusted some coriander and a little bit of a little bit of grain here and there, but
Yeah.
we hit this pretty spot on right away, and it's been a staple in the recipe menu ever since.
I don't taste coriander, but I guess it gives it that kind of sharpness.
Just a little bit of
zing.
zing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It would taste a little too macro.
Like flat.
Yeah.
yeah.
It really does stand out, though. I like that little extra.
I get some sweetness. That's why I was wondering if there was corn in it. But
Nope.
Yeah, no, I
it's
mean,
tasty.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, not as sweet as a Bud Light. You were saying that before. I remember. So I went up to Mohican Sun in January, and we get to the room, my buddies, and of course, these guys are craft beer drinkers, but yet they're also cheap as shit. So we share. It was 4 guys sharing a room, right? So they whip out the Bud Light. Someone brought like a 12-pack of Bud Lights. We're all drinking. I'm drinking this. This is like candy. This is not even beer anymore. It's so sweet compared to the stuff that I drink, because I drink IPA, bitter IPA. Like even
We
the sweet.
get it, Mike.
All right,
It's a 60-minute IPA, 120-minute
Yeah,
IPA.
but it's not sweet. It's like kind of bitter in a way. So
in all the ways.
all the good ways. So the one guy that came up didn't say anything. He had this big cooler sitting over there. I go, hey Jim, what's in the cooler? Jack's Abbey, Fiddlehead, all these. I'm like, I'm drinking Bud Light, and you had a whole cooler.
I'm drinking this swill. You're hiding the good stuff.
He was. And then finally, like at 10 o'clock, when we came back to the room after dinner or whatever, I'm hitting these hard. And I haven't had a good Fiddlehead in a long time. That Fiddlehead, just their core IPA, delicious.
Great beer.
I haven't had it in a long time, and I forgot how good Fiddlehead was. And I found it at a local distributor. They still do distribute it down here. because he's from Boston, by the way. So that's why I was thinking.
Fiddlehead's Maine, right? Is that
Vermont? Maybe it's
I
Maine.
think it's Vermont.
maybe you
It might be
wrong.
Vermont. I don't know. Look it up.
I will.
You are the research expert here in the Wort. But those are like some of those, like you come across and you go, I haven't had this in a while, and damn, that was good. I forgot about that beer.
I've had so many beers that I've forgotten I love.
Yeah.
It's
Like
fun
Racer
just-
6.
Exactly.
You're like, wow, I forgot how much I really liked. Is it Vermont?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was, because I remember we were talking about Vermont beers for some reason.
Yeah.
Beyond Jack's Abbey. And and he had some of the good, like, Jack's Abbey lagers. I was like, you asshole, making me drink Bud Light. And then I got these beautiful beers sitting 5 feet from my face.
This was a friend of yours?
Yeah. Not anymore.
You need some new friends.
we got words to discuss.
Friends don't let friends drink
Drink
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they were just like, throwing them out, and I just grabbed one. But that was the end of that night, that's for sure. I'll tell you this, though. Mohican has a pretty good selection of craft beers, though. And if you go to
You have to,
Foxwoods, you have, what's the one that's in Connecticut?
Left hand?
What?
Left hand?
No. There was one there, but now there's a new brewery in there, and I forget what it's called. I got to look that one up.
Left hand's Colorado.
Yeah. No, but it
Two
was...
hands? No.
No.
Two roads.
Two
That's it.
Roads. No, that's not it.
Okay.
But there's a brewery in Foxwoods.
Two Roads is doing a collaboration
Tasting
with
room.
Guy Fieri.
Are they?
So said the billboard I passed on I-95.
You see, they...
last week.
What a combination.
Yeah, oh, Jesus.
They're going to Flavortown.
They
They
go-
moved it up to the official beer of Flavortown.
Well,
I
when they
guess.
set up that new beer laboratory up the hill a little bit, like Two Roads had that big brick building right on the main road. And then if you go up the block a little bit, now they have like a beer lab where it's all experimental stuff. They've been doing some crazy stuff. And that's one of the labels that I've seen over the years where I was into it. We went to the brewery, had some great beers. They
Man,
find Road to Ruin everywhere. You could find all, and all of a sudden they pull back, and you don't see it as much anymore. But on social media and the stuff that I'm seeing that they're doing, unbelievable stuff. I need to get back up there and acquaint myself. That's it. Reacquaint myself with Two Roads.
Would you be surprised if it was a hard seltzer that was half iced tea, half lemonade, that was called Flavortown Fitty Fitty?
Oh, God.
I mean, Hell's Kitchen has a seltzer too. So, oh my God.
Oh man, that is.
Is it really called that? Flavortown.
Welcome
Fitty
to
Fitty.
Flavortown.
Fitty Fitty. It looks good
Fitty
though.
Fitty. Half hard iced tea, half hard lemonade.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call
That
it an
is-
Arnold Palmer at
Arnold
all
Palmer.
because
Sold
yeah.
exclusively in our
Yeah.
Flavortown Spiked Variety 8-pack.
Oh, 8-pack, not even a 6-pack or a
Man,
12.
that
huh?
is
Well, listen, like I said,
that
Two
is
Roads.
as good as I could have hoped it was going to be.
What are some of those iconic ones that you guys?
Flavortown Spiked. That is
Not that one. The breweries that you grew up with. What are those like names and labels that you guys kind of, really like idolize along the way?
Wow, that's a good question.
I had to put that down. That is too fucking.
You're gonna go down a rabbit hole, aren't you?
I mean, like, the first brewery that I remember catching my eye, just like not before I drank it, was
Yeah.
Stone.
Okay.
Because like that gargoyle, was
Yeah.
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I'll drink that. And they had a beer called Arrogant Bastard.
Yep.
Love that one.
Like, of course I'm gonna order that.
And the label is the
Demonic.
Not the text on the label was like, "You're not worthy. You only used to drink
yeah.
light macro beers. This beer isn't for you.
Yeah.
Put it back on the shelf.
And shit in your
Fucking
hat.
clown.
May or may not have happened.
Dare you to drink this."
Hey, Paulie Finger says he only drinks Old E in 40s for the record, just so you know. I agree with you. I would never drink out of one of those 16-ounce cans of Old E. I've seen them. Or what are the bigger ones? Not the Crowlers, but they have another
Like an
one.
oil can?
Yeah, it's like a 19. It's kind of like what Paul used to do, like
Foster's?
19s. Yeah, the Foster size. That's what it is, the oil can. You're right. Yeah, so that's one of the ones that I
Someone
agree
told me
with you.
that no one drinks Foster's in Australia.
Yeah, I have metal strands and heard the same thing.
Yeah. It's like Kings or something.
I don't remember. I feel like it was
Or
something
Lion.
with an A.
Lion?
Oh, Line I've heard of. Yeah.
No one drinks Foster's.
No.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
probably an
Australia.
American brand like
Yeah.
Outback. I don't think it was an Outback steak.
There's no Outbacks in Australia. They don't even like blooming onions down there. There's no wild onions that grow in Australia.
They can't grow onions in Australia. It's a known fact.
All right, let me get back to this because I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole and run out of time to let you talk about the beer. So this is pretty much one or two iterations in, and you're ready to go with this.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to I guess repetitiveness on the schedule, are you brewing this like every month, every couple of weeks? What's the?
I'd say probably every 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
On this.
Yeah,
This-
it's probably our biggest seller, I would say.
I was
Yeah,
saying, it
this
seems
is
like a
on-
good idea.
This is on tap a lot of places, so we just got to get those keg orders filled.
Yeah,
and
Northport is flooded with this beer.
Yeah.
That's a great
They,
thing.
they
great.
want it.
Yeah.
They want
And if
it.
they're flooded, they can just raft up.
Oh,
There you go.
nice.
See what I did there?
I
See
like
what I
that.
did there? I made a joke. But this is, like you said, an approachable beer where
Yeah.
people can just go right in.
Like, the 50 to 60 to 70-year-old crowd, a lot of them don't love the IPAs. They just, they
Yeah.
like drinking their Coors Lights or whatever.
Schlitz.
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah. So this one's like super approachable. It's just good.
I imagine in the summer you're going to need to.
We
brew
might have
quite
to ramp
yeah.
up production. Yeah.
And I guess that's
It
where I
seems
was
like
going
something
with
like
the-
you're going to drink 17 of on a hot day in July.
That's the
right?
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Now, like retail, are you selling 4-packs of this?
Yeah.
What's the price point for? I'm going to Shark Tank it. What's your cost? And what's the cost to consumer? No, I'm just kidding. Just what's the cost to consumer? What can people expect when they go up there? He's got to look at the
I think it's 16 4-pack.
very reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, for this, 100%.
Yep.
Perfect. I think that's a perfect price point.
Thank you.
I jump at that. Because when I go to a distributor and I get what the hell did I get recently? Which I love, by the way. One of my favorite all-time just beers in general is Sand City and Barrier did a beer called Ishkray. They re-released it and it's been out. I've seen it in a couple distributors. It's like $23 at distributor price. Obviously, they're not selling it.
What style is it?
It's a double
Hazy.
IPA, a hazy, but it's like 8.3. So
Okay,
I
yeah.
get it. The price point of the grains and everything. I understand, and I'm only doing it once in a while. It's not like my constant beer.
You're
It'll
only
be-
finding it once in a while, too.
Right, and they only make it every so often. And the same thing like with Eleanor. If I see that around from Dubco, the black IPA,
Yep.
I don't care what the price is. I'm buying it. There's only a couple of beers out there locally that I would buy at that price point. But they have to, because by the time they make it, and then their cost, and then the distribution cost, it's going to drive it up a little bit. But I think 16, even with a couple of bucks in it for the distributor, it's still, affordable, and people would be going after that. So I think that's a good price point. And I think you probably do a lot better off selling it out of your place anyway. That's all you. You don't have to any wholesale costs or any of that other
we've been
bullshit.
we've been opening up once a week for a couple hours when we brew to sell cans, because we all have jobs.
I said,
during the
everyone's got a
day.
day job,
Yeah,
right?
for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're only all there together once a week.
Right.
So that's this
If you want to
Wednesday. I
stop
think,
by,
yeah.
just check on Instagram. We usually post when we're there.
Right. Throwing out business hours.
This
and stuff like that,
Wednesday,
when they
6
can.
to 8, we should be. We'll be there
There you go.
brewing, so you can come by, but get some cans.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, when someone goes there, what's the list looking like? Do you have obviously wrapped up, but what else is
That's
on?
all we have left in cans right now.
Oh shit! All right,
Yeah.
so if
Yeah.
you guys want wrapped up, yeah, fuck it, come down Wednesday. I mean,
What's in the bright tank now?
Yeah.
What's next in the brew schedule?
Yeah, we got. It's almost done fermenting. I got a dry hop tomorrow, but we just brewed a double IPA.
Mhm.
Yeah, with Citra, Mosaic, and Cascade hops.
Love all the C's,
Yeah.
the triple
yeah.
C's,
Well, Mosaic
Mosaic
starts
is
with
an
an
M.
M,
not
but
triple
that's-
D's like diners, drive-ins, and dives.
God,
Is that another
50-50?
geefy area?
Yeah.
Flavored that.
Yeah, but yeah, those are great hops. Good combination.
Yeah, I mean Citra's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like you can't go wrong with Citra. They call it a cheater hop.
Yeah, it is. It is because you could just make anything taste
I'm
good.
okay
with
with
such a-
cheating.
Yeah,
If it tastes that good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. Two Havens came out with double IPA finally, so that's good. You need to have a little bit of that variation in IPAs.
Yeah, we didn't have a plan to do it right now, but people have been asking us for it. Our bar accounts and our restaurant accounts. They're like,
Get something a little bigger
Yeah,
for the big boys.
a lot of craft guys. They want those double IPAs.
Yeah.
all day and every day.
Yeah.
So
What's going?
Yeah, the people
what
that they
went-
want.
What? Oh yeah. What went into that? Like, what's the grain bill on that? What are?
that one, it's mostly 2-row There's a little bit of marisada for some little bit of flavor added, breadiness. There's we adjust the pH with some acid malt.
Okay. Do you have any major water problems up there? Just kind of balancing things out. Do you have to constantly?
Great question. We have a filter that pretty much gets us close to zero. Not quite, but we got a water report as soon as we moved into the building.
Good, yeah.
And I got this cool little program on my computer that you put your recipe in, it just pops out like what do you need to get to the pH you want, and what kind of salt additions you need, calcium.
And now you're doing that prior to putting in ingredients, right? You're filling up your tank, and then you're putting those in first.
Yeah, so the mash gets a dose, and then the sparge gets another dose.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just things people don't think about when they.
Yeah.
So you want to open a brewery.
Well, yeah, you don't have to, but if you want to make better
What
beer,
you want to make, right? If you want to make drinkable
Is that
shit.
on your stove, right? It's got.
you can take it as far as you want. Like,
Holy crap! There's a lot of people
you can
checking
get
in.
degrees in water chemistry if you want, and then.
Ricky B from Barriers checking in. What's up, Rick? Riz, we got. Sheila. Sheila, you're not getting my
Sheila.
beer maker.
Drive by his house and take it.
No, don't go to it. You can't have it from my cold dead hands. Andrew's checking in. Rambizi, Royka, holy crap, Brews and Banter. A lot of people checking in right now. So sorry I can't wave to you guys all, but we're here with the fellows from Cow Harbor. John and Will just talking a little bit here for a little bit. So let's talk about besides that next beer that you have in there and what's in the Bright. What's next on the schedule? Are you going to be brewing that like next week? Is that the way this is working in regards to rotation?
It's kind of like, what are we running low on? What is being
Ingredients left in the space, or
well, we plan ahead for that.
Okay.
Pretty well.
What beers you need to have on tap for the accounts, right? Is that
Right.
Right.
Sure.
So
you really got to address that first.
Right. So we're brewing another batch of Fathom Wednesday.
nice.
Yeah, how long is that in for?
That's a 2-weeker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you really got to like strategize on exactly.
You
I was
have
going to
to
say
put- you have to-
strategize. Strategize on
Strategy
exactly.
is super important. It's one of the most important parts. You really have to plan this stuff out.
Yeah.
Are you guys
'cause-
getting to the point where now you need to be brewing twice a week, or is that or are you still good? Like,
I could see that happening
treading
soon.
water on
We're not there
once
yet.
a
Yeah.
week?
Yeah.
Well, in preparation that if you
Yeah.
do find a space, it's going to be ramp up for
Oh, yeah.
a couple of months until.
And to support the cans and the kegs,
Yeah.
that's another facet we got
I
to figure out.
don't foresee it being very far in the future that starts to happen.
Yeah.
Now, the five of you, obviously, you have a lot of support from each other. Do you guys take on certain roles? Do you guys have dedicated titles? Like, what have you guys kind of decided on? Or did I just open up a can of worms?
No, you're
That's a
good.
great question. Go ahead, John.
With what?
He doesn't want to say the wrong thing.
I call myself the janitor because I feel like I'm the only one that likes to clean, or that actually cleans.
Well, he's
But,
really good at it.
It's like a lot of people are like, this is good enough, right? I'm like, it's either clean or it's not.
Yeah. There's
Like,
no halfway there.
ground. Yeah. So I usually spend my time doing that, helping mesh in,
Pop in some
brewing.
music, you know,
Oh, yeah.
just
We
go
got
a
nice
couple
little
beers
stereo
and you go
system
at
in the
it.
brewery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I personally I handle a lot of the recipe creation.
Okay.
And, that's my favorite part about it.
Right.
Just like it's an art to me. Like, you can throw something against the wall and that came out pretty cool.
Yeah.
The other brothers, one of them's he's really good with accounting and doing the
business.
the business side of it.
Mhm.
That's important.
Yes.
I
Thank you
mean-
very much.
I mean,
Yeah.
numbers.
It's
You guys are spending too much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, he yells.
Do you
at
get
us,
that? Yeah, I was
"Oh
going to
my
say.
God,
Oh, yeah.
why haven't you sent in the receipts for this? I'm like, all right, well,
I'll get
We
on
need
it.
him. We need
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
No, it's
You
crucial,
need your checks and
crucial.
balances in any
Yes,
good partnership. You guys
absolutely.
definitely need your,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
With one of the brothers, like he loves figuring out how things work. So
Okay.
putting everything together, when something breaks, it's like, hey, Tom, get
The
on it.
engineer.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's
Yeah.
basically, yeah. And then the third brother is kind of overall, he does everything.
Yeah.
Big picture, yeah.
Big picture
Overseeing
guy,
everything.
yeah.
He's usually running the brew sessions.
Yeah, he figured out how to make the brew system work because it did not come with instructions.
Little did they know.
Everything's color coded now. So
Yeah.
I'm like, turn all the reds off. Make sure
Okay.
they stay off because those are red and don't touch them.
Right.
That's
Well,
sort of thing.
that's a great idea, though. I mean, especially when you guys are on a new system and you're just
Yeah.
trying to get it right. You don't want to one flip of a switch and
There's
You
hot
screwed.
wart pouring out and
Yeah.
my leg and I have to go to the ER. Like,
don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining.
that can happen.
The whole process, though, you guys, obviously you've kind of probably fell into those roles as you're going along. Who was in charge of some of the can art and stuff like that? Like, does someone pick that up as another responsibility?
We all kind of collaborated on that.
Okay.
Because that was really important to everybody. We wanted to get it right. So it took a long time to get that right. We started out, we hired this guy, a graphic artist, who had done a bunch of different beer stuff before. He actually quit on us after a couple months because of personal reasons.
Oh, okay.
All right, things happen.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He ended up recommending a friend of his out in California. Okay, we went with him. We did not like his work, so we had to.
That's the
This
risk
was
you
like-
run, though,
this was
too,
like
right?
6 months in the
It
making.
took a long
though,
time,
and,
yeah.
and we were like working on a logo.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we got to get this thing rolling.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
we,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, we eventually settled on this. We found this website. It's like a crowd. You put out this prize, and then anybody from all over the world
Yeah.
can enter.
It's a design competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a design competition.
I have
And-
something similar in the audio world where you send out a bunch of the stems of a song and people remix it, and you get something you want to release,
Oh,
and
perfect.
then they give you prizes and stuff like that for it. It's
Yeah,
a
so
cool concept.
We had over 100 submissions.
Wow.
You
How
know,
long did it take to go through all that shit? I mean,
well,
it's
there was
just-
a lot of infighting, right? So like, I like this one.
Yeah.
I don't know, that one's stupid. So we ended up like doing like a ranking system.
Okay.
Everybody picked their top 5, and
You did like a
points were
bracket
awarded.
tournament.
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But like, when this one was everybody's favorite.
Mm.
So it was like, well, that's easy.
Yeah.
And
And then we-
the guy who designed it is from Sweden.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Now, do you
Yeah.
have to cite him on this? Is it on there?
we own.
No,
we
it's just
own it outright. Yeah.
Basically, all
Name
rights
prize
reserved at
and
this
it's
point.
yours.
We gave him his monetary prize and
Yeah.
sent him on his way.
Makes sense.
Thank you very much.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And then moving forward, logo-wise, and obviously text and typeset and stuff like that would say the same. But then your logos, your color schemes, stuff like that would. I'm sorry, your artwork
Yeah, the
and your
label.
color
The
schemes.
label. We did the same thing for the labels.
Yeah.
Because it works so well with the logo.
Right.
So we did another competition, and this guy sent in 5 or 6 different color schemes and different graphics, and we're like, wow, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And we all agreed on it too.
Yeah,
When it's right, it's right.
Right. Yeah, and everyone knows it.
Yep.
And so, like I said, that would then travel through the rest of the labels, right, and the rest of the
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
What do I say?
The theme.
The theme throughout the entire process. So you guys, you have your double IPA sitting in tanks. You're probably gonna have to do raft up again very, very soon. Long term, what are some of those beers that you want to get to? Like, what are those?
I got a list so long. You would
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, if you had to prioritize, and they said you got an open spot on the schedule, what would be that one on that list?
Ooh.
And obviously, wouldn't be doing the pumpkin right now because that would just be silly.
Yeah,
but
no. Like
you'd be the only one doing it.
seasonals they have a specific time for those. I really love brewing the Belgians.
Yeah.
Nice.
We have a really good saison,
Yay.
a Belgian golden ale.
Yeah, we got to do those again.
We could really do they're so good.
It's great spring beers
Yeah.
and fall, like just in like the temperature changing times.
Right.
That works out very well.
Yeah,
Those-
so that would be mine.
Yeah.
Those would
that's-
be good to put in cans.
Yeah. Yeah. They hold up well too.
They have a really long shelf life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, like I said, Stormborn, that's one of the ones that stand out to me as like a solid beer throughout, Long Island, let's say, in the Belgian style.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it holds up. You can get one even a year later, and then boom, it's still drinkable and delicious. So yeah, that's a good style to have. Any ones that that you're just not going to be making? It's on that list, but it's just you're never going to get to it. You got like a triple IPA somewhere hidden in the ranks.
I don't know. That's a good question. I there's a lot of styles that I just know won't sell.
Yeah.
So
And is that really like the and I obviously once you've established, you can kind of reach out further. But early on, that's really the driving force, right? What's going to sell? Because you got to stay afloat.
100% the driving force. We don't have our own tap room right now, so we're listening to our
whatever your accounts want to put on. You can't just put on something and hope
we can try a different IPA. But
we could try
this
that.
one has Amarillo.
3 A's: Azaka, Amarillo, and what's the other A one? I don't know the A. I know those are the 2 A's I know. But yes,
once we have the tap room, we'll be able to do a lot more of that.
Yeah,
experimenting.
And what would be the vision for the tap room? I know we said location, but like in regards to like layout or what do you guys are imagining it would be like to have that tap room?
That's when you have 5 people, you get 5 different opinions. So we're gonna have to work on that. I know we will come together on it. I have my ideas. John has his ideas. Like I personally, I love the Irish pub look.
Okay.
Very welcoming, cozy,
community based,
friendly.
Yeah.
But
you talking about more for the outside than the inside, or just in general, like overall?
Overall, yeah.
Do an English mild out of a hand pump.
Cask.
I'm getting a little too excited.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I see the table rising a little bit. I apologize. Oh, my bad. The overall, obviously, you guys have worked very well together. Coming together for all this.
It's been great. Yeah.
Do you have a timeline? Do you know exactly kind of, I guess, target dates of what you're thinking? Do you want to open by a certain time? Do you want to kind of do certain things by a certain point?
We're not in a super rush. Like, it's going well the way it's going.
It's sustaining. So
yeah. So like, we have the ability to just wait for the perfect opportunity.
Right.
And I think that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think location will kind of drive the
Gotta wait
decision
till
with
the right
that tap
place
room.
opens up and-
yeah.
And those goddamn interest rates. Trust me, I know. I just refinanced. God damn it. But they're coming down. So there comes a point where that makes sense too, financially.
There was a spot in Huntington that the guys just checked out. What was it? 2.6 million the guy wanted.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's a big move.
One day maybe.
All cash right now.
Yeah.
Got to sell a lot of raft up.
Yeah. You're not going to get there on 5
How much
barrels.
raft up would you have to sell to get to that?
Well, I've done the numbers, and
there's a number there somewhere, but that's crazy. I mean, you really have to like have so many contracts and distribution agreements to even get close to that. And then what? Then
it's fun to fantasize. And
sure is.
yeah,
of course.
This one day. Before you answer your next question, I brought a little treat for you.
Oh shit! It's good. What the?
Lost Abbey.
Oh,
it's a special beer from the West Coast. It's called Duck Duck Goose. Goose style American sour.
Yes.
Kind of a hybrid. It's pretty delicious. So give me your glasses. I'll
Yeah,
fill you
go
up
for
with
it.
that one.
I'm always a fan of a good goza goose. Do you like sours? Is that something in your wheelhouse?
Oh, I love them.
Farmhouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it really is a natural progression for me that I went from Saisons, then to farmhouse, like funky beers, and then to just that sweet, like nice little champagne-y, bubbly sour. When they first came out on the scene, wasn't a huge fan. I was like, it's a little too fruity for me. It's like too much of that one flavor. But they've grown on me over the years, and especially when you have, we mentioned before, Sand City, that makes really good sours. There's been a handful of breweries that have done it and done it well, but those are the ones that really stand out. It's got to have that flavor profile with a backbone of beer, and then have just the right amount of the sweetness to kind of balance all that funkiness out.
Yeah, this one's super funky. There's no fruit added to this one, so it's your typical goose.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the guy, the main
Yes.
brewer over there is
Yes.
Tommy Arthur. So it's a blend of 3 different year lambics. So it's pretty true to style.
What is that brewery upstate that it's not Rushing Duck, but there's it's a farm brewery. It's not Suarez. It's not.
I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Who the hell is that? And they have such good freaking farmhouse beers. I came back, I think one time I took a trip up there with like several bottles worth of deliciousness. They made a really good strawberry one, and it tasted like strawberry champagne. It was so good. Pete's doing his research on it.
It was you tried to buy something.
Yes. No, it wasn't Hudson Valley.
Okay.
Hudson Valley does a really good job too. Yes. Yes. No, it wasn't that one. It's another farm
That's all
brewery.
I had.
Don't make me go off on that
Angry
again.
DMs.
Yeah, no, don't make me give my tongue lashings to the Hudson River. But they do great stuff too. They have the saltiness there is.
It's so good.
Oh, it's so good.
This beer's perfect.
Lost Abbey.
I love it.
So I haven't seen it as much as I want to in distributors. You really got to kind of like find that one or two that have it.
They're outside of San Diego.
Yeah.
I lived
How
out
did
there.
you get that
I lived out there for
So you brought that back?
years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
it's an
thanks
old-
for
it's an old
traveling
bottle.
Wow.
several thousand miles to get it here.
Cool label.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had some stuff from them before, similar style, but like different, compositions or whatever, or variants.
Yeah, they rock the sour game.
They sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Jack's Abbey does a little bit and dabbles there as well. And what's the other one I had recently? It wasn't the monastery, but the other one I had, just a fantastic farmhouse. I got to really look up which one I was talking about before that I went up to. I got to look it up. But yeah, I mean that style grown on me over the years. One of the ones that I would have not touched with a 10-foot pole, but
Yeah.
as you're looking for an alternate to
It's a different flavor.
Yeah.
So like if you never had a Belgian goose before, like you don't know what you're drinking. Like some people find it offensive. Like it's a weird flavor. But like once you learn to like really appreciate
you
it,
break it down as you're tasting it.
Yeah.
I prefer the saltiness. That's what I like about it the most.
Yeah.
Is that saltiness of like a Goza or whatever.
Right.
Who Dogfish makes a great that lime. Which one is that? That's
that the
Sequench Ale or Sea Wench? No, you might be right. But that one's very good too. The salt that they add to that one is really what did it.
Lemon?
No, it's lime.
Lime.
Is fantastic. That one is really good. Dry as a bone too is the reason why I like it. Have you guys tried to experiment with some of this stuff yet?
Yeah.
In the world of
yeah. Some has
how'd it
gone
go?
well. Some has not gone well. The world of wild ales is tough. I've made some really good sours back in the day. The last time we tried it was about a year and a half ago.
We still have those sours.
Are they still sitting in your basement? Yeah, I'm still waiting for it to
really freshen
mature.
up. Yeah.
Maybe if I give it another 5 years or so.
The pellicle's like a solid inch thick.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, you just cut it off the top. You'd be all right. Robert C is saying Drownlands, but that wasn't it either. In fact, we were supposed to have Drownlands on the show this year. We're talking about that to them, but they also make very good like wild ales and farmhouses and stuff like that. Yeah. What the hell? I don't have my phone because it's streaming right now, but I'll get to it. I'll remind you after the show.
We did that mango lime goes, and that was a hit.
We did. Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds
That was
good.
for your wife's birthday, wasn't it?
It was.
Ooh.
Shout out to Nadia.
Yeah. Did they like? Let's say this: do your wives like a lot of the beer that you drink?
They like a lot of the beer they drink. They don't love
That's a great way
all
to
the
put it.
beers that I drink.
Fair enough. You know what? That's for the best though, so they don't just disappear out of your fridge as you're stockpiling.
Yes.
That happened to me recently.
Terry went in there and
She
hit
had to
it hard.
work late one night, and
Yeah.
I was like, I had one of them. And they're all gone.
He drank all of the beer.
Man, that's brutal.
What would be your wife's favorite style?
I'm not married.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well,
I'm the
good
only
for
one.
you.
I'm the only single
Bachelor.
guy.
the only
Yeah,
fucking
I'm-
smart
yeah,
one. All right,
yeah.
so John.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm divorced. So.
Oh, all right.
I wasn't that smart.
Nope, you're the second smartest one in here. That's all right. Listen, you gotta move on. John, what is your wife's favorite beer?
Probably a Hefeweizen.
Really?
Yeah.
See, my wife doesn't even like those. I tried to get her into Blue Moon is an easy entry level one, right?
She's all in the sours, right?
She does like the sours, but it's like every so often you can't go to a brewery every time and find sour on tap. So you want to give her.
well in the summer.
She'll drink a golden ale and like choke it down, and she'll be like, "Oh, this was good." I'm like, I could tell in your face it wasn't good. You didn't like it. I mean, it was good to me, but it was not good to you. But like Hefeweizen's one you can probably find more often than not, especially in a restaurant or
Like
something
a
like
good
that.
Hefeweizen with like some real banana flavor.
Yeah. Like the
Gordon's-
true one.
We're
Yeah.
gonna make.
Gordon's always a
We'll be
classic.
making a hef.
Yes, and I was about to say,
within the next month, I believe.
Yeah.
nice.
Get ready for spring.
Again, good
Yeah.
spring beer.
Great spring, great
Yeah.
summer beer.
Saison, Hefeweizens, just ales in general. A Pilsner, ever do?
We haven't messed around with the lagers too much. You know, we're
because of timing, right? I mean, obviously
They do take a long
gotta
time.
turn around.
So we need that tank space.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Gotta
But we
have-
will. We will.
Yeah. I mean, once you get up and running,
All
you
the
got
time.
Yep.
you stockpiling and stuff like that.
right.
Long term, what do you foresee the future of the brewery as being? Just look at. Well, we don't have the brother here to look at the big picture, but
Right.
let's see the big picture.
Bobby, where are you?
Obviously, you have a production space. You have a storefront into the style that you guys all agree on. What's the big thing? Like, where would you want to get to that you foresee? Like, this is this is my vision board of where I want to be.
Again, I think that's it's different depending on which of us you ask. Personally, I want that tap room that I can work out every day and share my beer with everyone who comes in, talk about it, even if they don't want to talk to me.
I'm gonna approach them. Hey, have you seen my beer? Look at the beer. You're in my beer. But you're right. That's part of the reason why we even did this show.
Yeah.
We want to talk to people about their beer,
Right.
and we found that over the course of these years, most of the breweries want to talk about their beer because it's passionate to them. It's their baby. It's what they do, and what their creativity and all those other elements that come out with it, and share it with everybody.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's a community sport. Like you get people around drinking some good ale or lager or whatever, and then they're talking about it or talking about whatever. It's a social lubricant, it's making people happy.
Yeah, it does.
And I love being happy. So
Yeah.
that's
100%.
that's my goal. I don't. What would you say your goal is, John?
Yeah, I'm picturing us like an indoor-outdoor space, getting some concert venues going, and maybe a little bit bigger than what Will's thinking, but it may be like multifaceted, multi-locational too.
Yeah.
Like Dubco's got their place upstate, they got their place down here. I could see us doing that. I mean, I'm kind of like a dreamer in a sense. There's a airplane hangar in Northport that's been vacant for years, and I thought that would make a sweet.
Oh, the
brewery.
Vanderbilt.
The Vanderbilt.
Oh yeah.
Where is
airplane
that?
hangar. It's right on the water. It's on
It's
the
an airplane hangar for
airplane
like
hangar?
seaplanes.
Vanderbilt
Well,
seaplane.
his
Really?
seaplane, yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of
it's just
Wait, you have a
sitting
seaplane?
No, Vanderbilt seaplane.
I thought you
like,
looked at him like, hey, it's a
Well-
seaplane. I'm like, oh shit.
It would be a sweet spot, but we could bring people over there by boat.
Yeah,
open
that's
that
cool.
whole place up. It'd be
That's
really,
unique. No
really
one,
cool.
no one else has that kind of
one's done that
experience.
yet.
No,
Yeah.
that's an experience.
Who owns that? The town?
Suffolk County,
Suffolk
New York
County,
State,
yeah.
I think's got a hand in it. It's a lot of
You gotta make some deals.
Red tape, but a
a lot of red tape.
There's gonna be some people we could talk to. The Brewers Association, of course, for New York is a great place, to start with and just see because they always have those inns. I know with an organization I'm part of it at school, a state school, they're able to coordinate with them, and then they bring in people from Culinary Institute. They'll bring in professionals from the marketing areas of breweries and stuff like that, and kind of impart some information on the students and just show what New York State can offer in regards to jobs. They do a great job, so that's a great place to reach out to, and just even throw it out there like, just interested in this. Any information on this? Anything that can be done? Is it completely roped off the table kind of thing, or is it something that's possible and pursue it from there?
Yeah.
That's a really cool experience.
Yeah.
I'd be super interested in that.
I feel
Then you
like
have to buy a seaplane though.
No, you just buy a couple of dinghies and
we'll boat you over.
and you boat right in. Fuck the
I
seaplane.
feel like that's where things got to go, though. People are looking for more than just like a sit-down kind of tasting room. Everyone wants
Yeah.
some experience. They
Yes.
they want to be involved in something, and that's why the farm breweries have been so successful
Yes.
over the last few years.
Yeah, if people are gonna leave their comfortable couches with their big screen TVs, you gotta show them a
for
good time.
more,
Yeah.
for more
Right.
than
You
just
gotta give
another
something.
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with it. I was going to say something before, but now I forget what it was. It was a good question too. Shit. So moving forward, financially, obviously, the brewery is kind of sustaining itself. You guys are constantly kind of putting things together and moving forward with your labels. That's what I was going to ask. The individuals all involved, would there be some sort of, I don't know if I want to say it this way because it sounds catty, but it's not. Would there be a way that that this would work even broader with the five of you? Like you're saying, an upstate facility, you're from upstate, that would be a great way of kind of expanding and then having that reach out to those areas. Would there be more of that? Do you think there would, like we talked about Threes and Dubco and all that, things that you could possibly consider?
I think so. Sure.
Yeah. The brothers, they love Vermont, skiing up in Vermont. Like they've talked a lot about having Cow Harbor North, up by like a ski resort in Vermont.
Someone likes to ski here.
Yeah.
I was just up in Vermont.
Yeah, skiing.
Which one? Where'd you
Mount
have
Snow.
that? Oh,
Yeah.
Mount Snow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a great concept, and a lot of tourism. And off season you'd have up there, and then season down here in the summer. And
Yeah,
There's
I'd
one
spring-
brewery up there, and they fucking clean house.
Which one is it?
Snow Republic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but what mountain are they by? You remember?
Mount Snow.
Stratton.
They're by Stratton, and they're saying there's not a lot up there, so maybe there's some opportunity.
There definitely is. It's
There's
Vermont.
no one
Well,
near Stratton.
specifically
there's-
right by Stratton.
Right.
Near Stratton. There's nothing.
Yeah.
As far as
Yeah.
breweries
Yeah, that's
concerned,
what-
the nearest one is Harpoon / Long Trail.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Long Trail.
Long Trail,
Yeah.
another one.
same company now.
I have a
Actually,
sticker on
they
my
merged,
fridge
yeah.
from Long Trail, and I looked at it. I was like,
fuck,
"Where's
who else is
Long
out?
Trail?"
I love Long Trail.
Yeah, it was great back in the day.
Drop in.
Oh yeah, we know about Drop-In. Wait, was Drop-In? I thought it was Minnesota.
No, Drop In is Vermont. It's like the brewing school. Up
What am I thinking about the Minnesota one?
Surly?
Yeah, I was thinking Surly. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, thought maybe they
too.
expanded somehow.
That was a great brewery.
Yeah?
Yeah, I went there.
Furious?
I was out for work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Furious. Axeman is another good one.
Yep.
For them.
Hmm. We had a friend that was living in Boston, moved out to Minnesota and started sending Surly beers back, and we're like, "Oh, you're the best."
It's a cool place.
And then we cut him off because he got in
have a
trouble.
cool fucking facility there.
His wife actually was the trouble, so he wasn't allowed to ship beers to us anymore.
But no, there's no up in Vermont. There's a lot of phenomenal fucking breweries up in Vermont, but
Right.
But it's all spread out, and you
Yeah.
got to be in the
That's-
places
I looked
where
up
It's a big
Fiddlehead.
state.
There's
Yeah.
nothing like I'm fortunate enough. My parents have a place up by Mount Snow, which is why I go there. There's no fucking breweries within, other than the Snow Republic place.
Yeah.
There's nothing within like a 2-hour drive. Everything I want to go to is like a 2-hour drive to.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Weird, but
Especially if you're like in a place like a resort or a hotel or
But
something
that-
like that.
like I said, that-
and what are you
that-
going to ditch the family to go
that
2 hours
place-
to go to Philhead?
I
fucking
mean, I would.
Yeah, you're damn right. Listen, I plan my vacations around breweries. I'm going to be 100% honest. When my wife says, let's go here, I go, where's the nearest brewery?
Yeah.
And she goes, okay, we'll plan it out. And I have to. We went down to Florida. I went to 5 breweries in like 3 days. It was a bananas. And the whole family went to all 5. We had to look and experience the way I look at it. Fort Myers. I don't remember them all, but there was so many that we had. And now even my in-laws are down in Florida, and they'll go to like 2 or 3 breweries we haven't been, and they'll bring beer back with them. And I'm like, this is fantastic. I got my beer mules all over the country.
That doesn't suck.
No, it does not suck. Some of the beer they're doing down there, it's not bad. I don't think Florida is a big brewery town, but
Funky
it's growing.
Buddha.
Yeah,
Jake
I mean Cigar
Wakefield,
City. I mean,
Cigar
just think
City.
about that. That's another one I haven't thought of in a while. And that you just mentioned. I'm like, shit.
Maduro Brown.
Oh,
Green
yeah.
Bush. Nice beer.
The cigar of beers.
High Lie, right?
Yes.
Yep.
We used to sell that at the meatball place. It was one of our top sellers outside of tap beer. But that was and we had Left Hand milk stout too. We said that before. I'm
That's a
like,
big one.
Nitro
love the
Malt,
meth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. I want you to give you guys an opportunity to kind of promote. Let's go through all the contacts, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. Hours of operation obviously coming up soon, but in the future, kind of where people can find out when you guys will be open, so you can grab some beer.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram. That's the best way to keep.
Is that what you guys
up-to-date.
primarily
That's
really focus on?
99.9%.
Yeah.
Yes. We
You
do
have a Facebook account. I
We
believe,
do.
but it's just
It's
there.
like accidentally there. I'm
Right.
not-
Well, it's whatever you mirror from Instagram over there. Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. We do the same thing. I don't.
We
believe that
have.
shit.
We actually have an event this Thursday.
Ooh.
It's downtown Northport at Inked
Okay.
Art Studios. We're doing like a shared space that this art studio he's having us in. We're gonna do a 4 beer flight.
Nice.
And the Clark, his name. He's
Yeah.
doing a bunch of games.
He's doing a game night,
It's
and
gonna be like
we're
a real
bringing the beer.
social activity.
Cool.
We're gonna have Raft Up. We're gonna have the Mild. We're gonna have our Milk Stout.
Nice.
Blackbeard's Abyss.
Is that what it's called?
That's what it's
We didn't even
called,
talk about it.
We
Shit.
didn't even get to that one.
God
Yeah,
damn it.
Yeah. The label's cool.
For another day. When we
We're
do,
teasing.
when you
Yeah,
guys open,
yeah, tease,
we'll
tease,
do it
tease.
again. Yeah, I like it.
Come Thursday night, 7
Yeah.
to 10 o'clock.
Wow. That's cool. Events
yeah.
are great.
And you
Events are
said
great.
Yeah.
Oldfields, and where else can we get stuff we found on tap?
In Northport? Yeah, whatever accounts in Northport.
We're at the Main Street Cafe, the Northport Hotel, the Wine Bar,
Salted,
Salted, in
Rockin' Fish,
Rockin' Fish.
Crossroads Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking place.
Yeah, we got a lot of accounts. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And that's what you need to continue to be
Get the name out
successful
there
is get the
until
name out
tap
right.
room's
Yeah.
open, right? That's the idea, I guess.
Over
Yeah.
and over. Really appreciate you guys for coming out.
I had a great time.
Thanks for having us.
I mean, see, it wasn't that bad, right?
No,
Yeah, see?
I wasn't nervous.
We're
at all.
easy. We're having
What are
fun.
you talking about?
And that's a good thing about having beer here too. I mean, just sit and drink and hang out.
Social
and-
lubricant.
I believe I heard that somewhere before.
well, we're going to credit you because we haven't heard that before. So that's on you now. This is where Mike, Pete, and Steve GovsRadio.com. Really appreciate everyone for listening in tonight. Again, our show will be in podcast form on all your favorite platforms. What do we got, Pete? We got.
Oh, God.
Go ahead. Give me one of them.
Spotify?
Yeah. Okay. Good. You got one. How about
Apple-
2?
Apple Music?
Yeah, I think we're there. Apple Podcasts, I think it's called
I
now.
know.
Go ahead.
Amazon?
Oh yeah, Amazon Music. Yep. So there's the music one.
The YouTube?
Well, yes, but not in podcast
in
form.
podcast
That's going to be in video form on the Governor's Comedy Club podcast
Hot Tub
channel.
Network.
Yeah, there it is.
There we
I knew
go.
you'd get
Yeah.
that one. You're missing one. iHeart.
Sure.
When we went to iHeart, can I just tell you that our listenership rose 17%.
A whole
And I
17.
never promoted iHeart. I just RSS feeded it to iHeart's server, and all of a sudden listenership was up 17%. So I give it up to iHeart. For those of you who listen on iHeartRadio, really appreciate everyone who spends the time listening to the show and checking out all the great local breweries here on Long Island and beyond. This is where Mike, Pete, and Steve GovsRadio.com. Tune in a couple of weeks and we'll have somebody else on. I haven't
Maybe
really
Steve
settled
will be
on
back.
who that's going to be yet, but we'll get there. What?
Maybe Steve will be back.
No, Steve will be back. He's
He
anxious to
doesn't
get
fall
back.
off the edge of the earth.
Right.
You never know. Never know.
We miss you, Steve. Any parting words before we get out of here?
Don't forget to have your pet spayed or neutered.
The word with Mike P and Steve GovsRadio.com, and we out.
Well, that's 2 hours of your life that you'll never get back.
Are you kidding me?
Please hang up and try again.
This has been the Wort on Govs Radio. I hope you're drunk enough.